recording. For those of you that are defendants in cases, let me first say you have a right to remain silent. Anything that you say may be used against you. You have a right to have an attorney present for these proceedings. We do have public defenders on the line today that if you wish to seek their assistance and qualify, I will give them the opportunity to let you know how you can go about doing that. If you seek to qualify and you do not qualify, we also have solicitors here that can give you offers in your case if you wish to dispose of them today. Let's see, who do we have online from the public defender this morning?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Ms. Helen. How are you today?
I'm doing good, Judge. I'm actually going to send the message in the chat for anyone that is seeking the services of the Public Defender's Office on the Zoom call. I need you to send your name, your phone number, and your information to my email address requesting an application. When you get the application, fill it out completely so that we can call you back to see if you qualify for the Public Defender Office services. I think it's going to be the same process for individuals who've shown up in court as well if we have public defenders in court.
All right, thank you. I'm going to start off with, we have 4 calendars for the 9 o'clock hour. So I'll start off with the Orca A status drag racing cases. I believe that all these cases should be with me in person this morning. Position number 1, Triana Bumpers.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Ms. Riley. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
Doing well, thank you.
Good. If Ms. Bumpers is not in the courtroom and not on Zoom, the state would be asking for a bench warrant.
Okay,
I am on the Zoom.
okay. Good morning, Ms. Bumpers. Can you activate your camera for the court?
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm in the bed. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, let me just say for everyone that's on Zoom, you're to treat this court session as though you are actually in court with me. So you should present yourself to me as though you were seated here in court with me, which means that if you are at work, you should find a quiet place to talk with me. If you are at home, you should be appropriately dressed and be prepared to speak with me when I get to your case. You should not be driving, and if you will pull over and make sure that you're safe as you speak with the court this morning. Okay, Ms. Bumpers, can you again activate the camera for me and get to a location that is appropriate to speak with the court?
Yes, I got you.
Okay.
I'm doing that right now.
Your Honor, I previously had communications with an attorney, Samad Mubin. He has not, that I'm aware of, officially entered his entry of appearance, but we have emailed back and forth, and I did communicate the offer to him.
Can you spell that for me, Ms. Riley?
The last name is Mubeen, but I believe I see a Mubin Law on the Zoom.
That is correct, Judge. I am here. I guess I got on at just the right time.
Okay, Mr. McBean, can you activate your camera for me? Thank you. And do you represent Ms. Bumpers?
I do, Judge. I represent Ms. Bumpers. We were here last before the court because there was some video that was outstanding. We didn't know if it just was not available, did not exist, or we just didn't have a copy. I haven't heard anything back yet. I'm not sure if the government has any updates about that.
Your Honor, the videos have been requested. We had to re-request them from the agency. And so I'm just waiting for that to come back, but they have been requested.
Okay.
And sir, I'm sorry.
Okay, hold on, Ms. Bumpers. Given that you have an attorney representing you, let Mr. McBean speak for you, please. Ms. Riley, when were those tapes requested?
On January 29th and again on February 21st.
And when do you expect that they should be in your hands?
Let's see. Let's take a look at the last communication. Some agencies get back to us sooner than others. But I would say if the court is inclined to place this on a trial calendar, we would have the video to Mr. Mubin, 10 days prior to trial.
Okay. Well, I don't want to place it on a trial calendar until Mr. Mubin gets what he needs and is able to properly negotiate if that's what he seeks to do. So I'm going to put it back on if it's okay with you, I'll put it back on a status conference calendar. Do you believe that you should have the, well, let's hope that you have it by April 5th.
Yes, Your Honor, I believe that would be more than enough time.
Is that fine with you, Mr. Mubin?
Yes, Judge, that is. I know the government's doing everything they can, so that's perfectly fine. And yes, if we can, once we have the video, we can properly negotiate. I can let my client know if we need to particularize motions based on that video. We'll certainly do that, Judge.
Okay, very good. So we'll reschedule you on this case until April 5th.
Understood. Judge, I think if that's during spring break, I may be out of town with my family, Judge. Judge, I'm actually on leave on April 5th. It's spring break for the school system. Would the court have another date that's available?
Let's see.
Give me a
Anything
moment,
else,
Judge.
Anita?
I will look real quick. I can give him May 3rd.
May 3rd work for you, Mr. Mubin?
Yes, sir. Yes, Judge, that is perfectly fine. I'm not on leave then, don't have any conflict.
All right, very good. We'll see you back on May 3rd.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it. Ms. Riley, just let me know. I'm around. I understand you're doing everything you can.
Thank you.
And you're
Thanks
free
so
to
much.
go. You're free to go also, Ms. Bumpers. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Position 2, Albert Claremont.
Judge, Attorney Gabe Winters here for Mr. Claremont. Mr. Claremont is also on the Zoom. We are announcing ready for trial.
Okay.
State withdraws the offer and we're ready to proceed.
All right. The next trial date will be in April. I'm not sure if we have exact dates at the present time, but you will both get notices for sometime in April.
Judge, I will let the court know I have a specially set homicide trial on April 10th. So I will be available that week.
Okay, so I believe that these are going to be scheduled for the end of April. So there, once you get the calendar, if you still have a conflict, just get your conflict letter in.
Thank you, Your Honor. May we be excused?
Yes, have a good day.
You too.
Position 3, Saquon Cruz. And I have that a notice of a conflict was filed. With that filed by Mr. Drake? Do we know?
I'm here, Your Honor.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Cruz. You're on the Zoom call?
Yep.
Okay, there you go. Have you spoken with your attorney, Scott Drake?
I've called both him and Miss Drake. I haven't spoken to either one of them this morning.
And
Okay.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, ASG Riley, I'm showing that there was a conflict as well as a leave of absence for March 1st through March 3rd for Attorney Scott Drake.
As such, we're going to reset this to a status calendar. Well, for final plea calendar on April 5th at 9 o'clock. Okay, Mr. Cruz, thank you for showing up this morning. Your attorney has filed a conflict. I'm sorry that he didn't inform you that he'd filed a conflict in the matter for this morning, but we're resetting the case for his appearance for April 5th at 9 o'clock. You'll get a notice. Okay, sir?
Thank you. Can I be excused?
Yes, have a good day.
You too.
Thank you. Position number 4, Stephen Hicks.
Stand up, please. Yes, good morning, Your Honor. Alexandra Lewis here. I'm standing in for Melvin Nash this morning. I was able to speak to the state very briefly, but if we can hold for an announcement so that I can speak with Mr. Hicks and see what we want to.
Okay, very good. I'll hope for your announcement,
Thank
Ms.
you.
Lewis. Mhm. Position number 5, Timothy Horn.
Good morning, Judge. Reginald Whitley. This is Mr. Horn. Reginald Whitley, back from Mr. Horn. Excuse me, Judge, I have to-
You're fine. Thank you.
Judge, I asked for an actual continuance. The state and I've been in conversation. I think we worked out an agreement. Things gonna be complete. But one thing that we're working on is work release over the jail. I want to make sure that we get those things satisfied before we check.
Okay,
The state does not agree with continuance. I told Mr. Winfrey he could have a date, turn-in date certain, at which point he can work through the work release issue, but the state's offer terminates today.
okay, so he's you're all gonna agree that he's going to do jail time on the weekends or something of that nature?
No, my understanding, work release is he goes to the jail, stays there, they release him, go to work.
Oh, okay.
Get all work and come back to jail for a certain period of time.
However, the state's understanding is that has to be arranged with the jail. And that is what I communicated to Mr. Winfrey when he inquired about it. And at this point, the state is ready to go.
Okay, and why can't we go ahead and do that today and give you the opportunity to work through that?
My concern is that we set a date certain. And you can't get the thing arranged by the jail by the time, he still has to turn himself in at time. But then we won't be getting out and he may lose his job if everything's not set up by the end. And I'm not sure how much time we're talking about us having to try to get that set up at the jail.
Well,
And I don't have to want to contact the jail, I call, no one directly, who I can talk to get it set up.
okay, well, maybe we can do that, work through that this morning with someone at the jail. I mean, I don't see why we can't. I'm willing to give you whatever time you need for him to turn himself in to the jail once the plea is taken. So if you need a week, if you need, and I'm certain that whatever needs to be arranged can be arranged within a week's time, wouldn't you think?
I don't know, the jail schedule, I don't know who's there controlling it.
Well, I wouldn't, I'm willing to give you whatever time that you need so that he doesn't lose his job, so that you can properly work through that. I'd rather get the plea taken and give you the time to work through the issue of the work release so that we can get this done today. We've put these off a number of times before, so.
We'll be ready to take the plea, Judge.
Okay.
And move forward.
Okay, all right, very good, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Position 6, Jamal Johnson.
Good morning, Your Honor. Clayton Pembroke for Jamal Johnson.
Good morning, Mr. Kimball.
Good morning.
What are we gonna do with Mr. Johnson today?
So we've received, I believe, almost all the discovery that you've asked for. The video apparently is not in existence. I confirmed that with the officer myself. I don't have an accusation. I've just got tickets and a police report.
What else do you need? We can print you off the accusation today.
uh,
Okay, we can print them off. We can print you off the accusation. Can you speak with your client this morning to see if you all can work something out, or?
Well, I've spoken with Your Honor, and my client is not in agreement with the offer,
Okay,
so.
all right,
We'd like to have some kind of pressure during trial.
okay. So those, the jury trial will be on, will be first scheduled for the end of April.
Okay.
Okay,
Your Honor, just to on record, states withdrawing the offer, which was basically a $500 fine and stamper on the racing count, and the other 2 counts were in that count, so.
okay. And you,
That was not my understanding of the offer, the other 2 offenses murdered.
say it again?
That was not my understanding of the offer or the other 2 offenses murdered, either the race.
I'm just going back through my email where I put that offer in writing. But if Mr. Kimbrough wants to discuss that, I'm more than.
Okay, I'll give you all the opportunity to discuss that this morning and see if we can come to some type of terms. Thank you. Yeah. May,
We haven't been informed the benefits for the trial after April. We had a meeting yesterday. We still haven't been informed, but
Good morning, Your Honor. There'll be further notice for trial if they do not make this April trial calendar.
okay, thank you. Position 8, Henry Moravia Rivas.
Good morning, Mayor. Mitchell from Mr. Rivas, he's here in the courtroom. There are one or two positions, but we think we're gonna have a student.
Okay,
Well, we can take work, I think.
okay, thank you, Mr. Mitchell. We'll be with you.
Yeah, so I think we just, we're gonna have a plea this morning.
Okay, thank you. And he's also on position number 7.
Yes, sir. Statement.
Okay, very good. Position 9, Allison Montgomery. Allison Montgomery, represented by Brian Howard.
Correspondence with the county on this case, and my expectation is that she and the defendant would be appearing.
Okay. We'll see if, tell me the name again, Ms. Falk.
The first time, County, CARISA, County, CLOWNEY.
Okay, we'll see if we can raise Ms. Crowley this morning. Position 10, Jeffrey Newsom.
Morning, Mr. President. Myself and Ms. Walker are still discussing that matter. Please hold for-
Okay, very good, thank you.
And Judge, I think this 10 o'clock hearing in Superior Court, if this matter isn't resolved, would the court allow me to just run over there at 10 to let them know that I'm still here?
Sure, I'll be here all day, so. Okay. You're welcome. Position 11, Lydell Northington.
Morning, Judge. I have a official, ECRT president, you have negotiated to do a prosecutor. You're ready to move forward.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Mr. Fisher. Position 12, William Shirley.
Morning, Your Honor, Alex here for the Shire, gets president of that. That'll be a negotiated plea for Your Honor. I seek your paperwork with them. I have your permission to step out in the hallway to do that.
Yes. Of course, thank you. Position number 13, Philip Smith. Represented by Ms. Dallas.
Your Honor, I will say I have been in conference with Ms. Dallas. She did state her client needed to go to Jamaica for a funeral. Asked me if I would agree with the continuance. I told her that was not up to me, that she needed to file a motion with the court. I believe she filed a motion with the clerk's office, but I would ask Ms. Red to verify that there has not been a order one way or the other by the court as to whether that was free.
Okay, we'll check to see if there's anything in the file. Thank you, Ms. Falk. And it was your understanding that this was going to be a plea, Ms. Falk?
At this point, Ms. Dallas is not indicated by this process. Her indication that she's still asked. And my indication is going to this offer was clear today.
Thank you. Position number 14, Oliver Welch.
That is correct. Mr. Lamar Rose will be down shortly for one of his staff members to handle this matter, but it will not be long.
Okay, what are we going to be doing with it today? I mean, what needs to be done with it?
He will be enrolled in Mr. Lamar Rose program.
Okay, so are we going to need to reschedule it for completion of the program? Okay. So once that's done, when would you all like to reschedule it so that we can resolve? have the final resolution.
If Your Honor, we give me a moment so that Dr. Rhodes can come in now. We did have to be here.
Okay, all right, very good. Thank you. We'll be with you. Thank you. Okay, that completes the Orca A status drag racing case calendar. Let's go to the Orca A status calendar. Position 1, Quantavious Terrell.
Good morning, Your Honor. That's my case. Mr. Terrell should be on Zoom. Spoke with him yesterday. He's here. Mr. Terrell, can you turn your video on, please?
I've been trying to figure out how to do it the whole time.
Okay.
There's a little button there's a little dot, there's a little picture of a button that's shaped like a camera. You press that and that should turn it on. Judge, while he's doing that, I'm gonna make some announcements. Yesterday, I received a plea offer from Ms. Gutierrez. I asked if she'd supplied all the discovery. About 4:47 yesterday, I got about 4 or 5 videos via email. I've watched some of them. I have not watched all of them yet. She also amended the accusation to add 2 counts. And I'll allow Ms. Gutierrez to put her generous offer on the record.
Your Honor,
I'm sorry, Mr. Corn, you are not coming through too well. I'm sorry.
Hold on a second.
What are you requesting?
Oh, this shit is blowing me, man.
Can you hear me better now?
You're still a bit muffled, but I can hear you louder, so thank you. So what's the request?
I'm asking Ms. Gutierrez to put her offer on the record.
Okay, all right. I believe, Ms. Gutierrez, are you with me?
yes, Your Honor. The offer is 36 months in custody to be served consecutively with a mental health evaluation.
I'm not sure how you can get the mental health evaluation after doing the whole thing in custody, but all right, we'll accept that that's the offer. Judge, obviously that's not going to be acceptable. So we just received discovery yesterday, but we'll get ready and we'll go forward, setting it for trial.
Okay. And so it'll be further noticed. Are you still waiting on any discovery, Mr. Corn?
I have no idea.
You have received all this. You have received all discovery.
Apparently, I am not waiting on any more discovery.
Okay, so we're going to further notice it for the next trial calendar. We get notice of when that will be. Just so you know, Mr. Corn, your client's not here in person. He is on the Zoom call. There is an active warrant for his arrest, so you may need to discuss that with him.
All right, I will do so.
Right.
Is that having something to do with this court, or is that something else?
I think that it's something else. Yeah, apparently it's something else. So.
All right, I'll talk to him.
And the deputy is requesting that he turn himself in.
Sure. I'll tell him to do so.
All right, very good. Thank you.
All right.
Let's see, position number 2, Kason Walden.
Good morning, Judge Frank Gaither for Mr. Walden. And I'm happy to report that will be a negotiated plea. We just can't do it today, and I'll briefly explain why. I've been in touch with his social worker. I've been able to speak with him. The Potter's house where he is a resident, they do have Zoom capability. So as soon as I'm asking that we just further notice this to whatever next court date is, to give them an opportunity to set it up, get him there and present to take the Zoom call. And then I've been in touch with his fiance, and the family can help with the anticipated fine. But I don't want to bind the family, because at the end of the day, it's still my client's responsibility. And then keeping in mind that he is in a facility, but we are ready to negotiate a plea. We just can't do it today logistically. All I need is a date to let them know that we can have it set up and go from there.
But the state is ready to take it today. I would suggest strongly that they give that subject today.
I can't do that. I cannot do that because I've been in touch with this social worker. She has other clients. I don't know why the state is even being coy with statements like, I don't know what, come on, that's not necessary. My guy has been in the Potter's house since I've had this case that I inherited. Everyone knows he's there. The clerk's office has confirmed that he's there. All they need is a
Mr.
date. to
Gates,
set it up.
I'm gonna let you have the opportunity to have him here by Zoom. Will April 5th work?
Now, that was gonna be my next thing. I am in the process of requesting a leave of absence from April 3rd to April 14th because I have to have a procedure on April 3rd.
Okay.
And that's perfect time for me because I don't have any cases presently scheduled during that time period. So anytime before or anytime after the 14th. Anytime before April 3rd or after the 14th would be perfect.
Okay. Do we have another calendar?
No, Judge, I only have May 3rd.
Right. So the only other calendar that we have is the May 3rd calendar.
Is it possible that you could handle this during an SAP calendar perhaps?
I'm happy to. So
I'm unfamiliar with an SAP calendar. What is that?
I have state all-purpose calendars every Tuesday at 9 o'clock. So we could schedule it for Tuesday at 9 o'clock on one of those calendars.
That would be fine. I guess I'm asking my next question. What do I need? Do I report to the courtroom or where is that?
You can, we have that on Zoom also.
Okay.
They're mostly people that are in custody, so they're mostly
Okay.
on the Zoom call. So
That'd be fine.
yeah, so I mean, so it would work for us. So we'll just schedule it for an upcoming Tuesday. Mr. Gaither, let me know when they will be available on a Tuesday, and we will schedule it in the next week or so.
I was gonna say I can make life easy. They are actually waiting on the court to just give a date and they'll make them available. I just can get it done today.
Okay, can you do it next Tuesday?
I can.
Okay, so we'll schedule it for next Tuesday. What's that date?
Tuesday is.
The 7th.
the 7th.
Okay. All right, we will set that on the SAP calendar for May 7th.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
And
Work that out.
how do I receive the Zoom link and everything? I'm gonna take care of that right now.
Well, will be handled by a different litigation staff. So
Okay.
I'll have to put you in touch with that litigation staff so they can get you that information.
Okay, thanks, Joe.
You're welcome. Okay, that completes the Orca A status calendar. Let's go to the Orca C final plea calendar. Position number 1, Joshua Hollingsworth.
Good morning, Your Honor. That's my case. Mr. Hollingsworth is present on the Zoom call. The announcement for that case, Judge, is going to be a non-negotiated plea of guilt, Your Honor.
Okay. Have you completed the paperwork, Ms. Helen?
I have it here, Judge. As soon as we're done with the plea agreement, I can scan and email it to the court.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Position 2, Annette Owens.
No, it is now.
What is not?
I'm sorry, Judge. Ms. Owens is my case, Judge. I spoke to her as recently as yesterday. I did expect her to be in physically today. My request was gonna set it for a bench trial, Judge. She just really needs to take one online class, and I think the case will get resolved short of a trial. I told that to the state. I'd rather not set it for another status hearing or final plea, but that was what I would request is a bench trial, Judge. And I've had really good contact with Ms. Owens. I'm really surprised she's not in unless she's on Zoom, but she did tell me she's coming in. So.
Okay. Ms. Bolton, when is our next bench trial calendar?
As I stated, Judge, I do not expect this to be a trial. It's going to be resolved before.
Judge,
The issue, Mr. Haddad, is that if we set it for a bench trial, those bench trials are normally held in the afternoon. And if it's gonna be a plea, then,
It won't be, Judge. I anticipate a null pros judge.
oh, okay,
Once she
all right.
completes it.
So April 19th at 1:30. Position,
Borough, I don't mean to interrupt. I'm just concerned. Our case was listed as a status hearing. And you said this was a different type of calendar. I wanted to make sure we weren't missed somehow. Might be.
Good morning, Ms. Hoffman. I have 4 different calendars this morning. I am on the final plea calendar. The next calendar that I have is the Orca C status conference calendar.
Okay, okay. I'm sorry. I just was afraid we missed all the status calendars somehow.
Okay, no, you're fine.
All right, continue. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Position number 3, William Reed. Okay, very good. Thank you. Position 4, Nathan Silva. Okay, very good. Thank you. Okay, the final calendar is the Orca C status conference calendar. Position 1 is Ahmed Abdusimed.
And Your Honor, just making sure my camera comes on, that is a case for the Public Defender's Office. I just want to see if Mr. Ahmed is on Zoom or in the court.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, ASG, right? I received a entry of appearance from Glenn Cooper's office for a Zachary Shear.
Yes, ma'am.
As the
That's his
attorney.
yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, I have an announcement if you're ready.
Okay, just a moment. So I'm sorry, who do we have on the Zoom for Mr. Ahmed?
Your Honor, I obtained an attorney yesterday. His name is Zachary Shire. I couldn't get in touch with any of my public defenders, so I got real scared and I ended up getting a lawyer. And he told me to let you know he had a conflict in Hall County today, and he said it should be in the system, but for me to still show up in the Zoom.
And Your Honor, I did via email, the message was left with our office from the attorney's office asking for a continuance. I let them know the state cannot grant a continuance, but due to the late hour, because it was just last night, that they would still need to appear for the court to determine if it can be continued, but they were asking for a continuance and the state does not have an objection.
Okay, so I'm gonna reset you, Mr. Ahmed, till the May 3rd status.
May 3rd, yes, sir.
You'll get
gonna write
notice of
that down.
that. And Ms. Riley, has there been a notice of appearance already filed? Is that what you're telling the court?
It was emailed to us. I checked Odyssey. I did not see that it had been sent or
Okay.
stamped in, but it was filed and served, so they may receive it today.
Okay, thank you.
You're
All right,
welcome.
so,
Your Honor, I have an
Yes.
announcement on the case.
yes,
If I will, if I may. So yes, I have the documentation that was sent by the legal assistant for the attorney. And so it reflects the conflict that they have in Hall County and also the entry of appearance that I will put in Odyssey today.
okay, very good. So it will be, your case will be rescheduled, sir, until May 3rd, okay?
Yes, sir. I'll let him know May
Okay.
3rd.
Thank you. We appreciate you being here this morning.
May I be excused, sir?
Yes, have a good day.
May 3rd, okay.
You'll get a notice, sir.
Okay.
Position number 2, Mary Blanchard.
I'm here. Yes,
Yes.
Judge, that was the
It's your
case. Good morning.
Good morning.
I did hear back from ASG Angela Waldrop last week. I tried to reach out ahead of time to advance the case, get some discovery and negotiate. I would ask that and if it's some other assistant solicitor I should be speaking with instead that's assigned to it, let me know, because I would like to get it where we have something meaningful to do next time. But I would ask for now if it can be placed on April 5th at 9 a.m. And I will diligently try to get something worked out with the state before then.
And yes, Your Honor, that is ASG Riley's case. ASG
Right.
Waltrip did forward me the voicemail from Ms. Hoffman. However, I did not receive it until yesterday.
Okay.
So, but I will speak with you, Attorney Hoffman. If you would like to go into a breakout room, we can do that, or we can communicate via email.
I would love to speak with you some this morning in a breakout room, and then if we can reset it so that I can make sure I get the discovery materials and have a chance to review them with my client, and then we can plan to be ready for April 5th.
Understood. I just need an email address from you. I went to the bar website and you don't have an email address listed. So.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Your Honor, my reset is May 3rd.
Right.
I won't be here on April.
Okay, and Ms. Hoffman, we have different litigation managers on these different cases that
Okay.
the first reset for the Orca C status will be May 3rd. Does that work for you?
That's great, Your Honor. That gives me even more time to get everything in order.
Okay, so I'm going to put you on a final plea on May 3rd. I'll let you speak with Ms. Riley this morning in the breakout room so that you can get everything that you need from the state, and then we'll see you back on May 3rd.
All right. Thank you so much, Judge.
You're welcome. Position number 3, Candace Brooks.
Your Honor, Alvin Kendall on behalf of the Brooks. I think she's on the Zoom, Your Honor.
Okay, is Ms. Brooks with us?
Yes, I'm.
Yes, good morning, Ms. Brooks. Good morning, Mr. Kendall. What are we going to do with Ms. Brooks this morning?
Judge, I found discovery back in August of like 2021. I hadn't gotten anything from the, September of 2021. I hadn't gotten anything from the state, so I still need some discovery. If it's no discovery, put it on trial calendar. What I do know about this case, it won't be a plea.
Your Honor, initial discovery was filed on file and serve on January 18th of 2023. So if Mr. Kendall had an entry of appearance, which I have not seen, he would have gotten a notification for the discovery. But the last time I checked the system, I did not see an entry of appearance from Mr. Kendall.
Well, Your Honor, I got motions here in my file, and I'm almost certain they was filed, but I would double check that.
Okay, do you have an entry listed, Mr. Kendall? Okay, so we're gonna need for you to, I'd like for you to speak with Ms. Riley on this matter today. And also like if you have not filed a notice of appearance to get that file so that we know that so the court knows that you represent Ms. Brooks. And
Yeah,
then once you
goes to court, but when I got outpatient surgery scheduled today at 11 o'clock. So could I possibly get it pushed back on next week, or give me, because I knew when I got the notice, it was too late for me to file a conflict for the day. But I do have to get to this outpatient surgery at 11 o'clock today.
Okay.
And Your Honor, I was able to check case manager. There is no entry and there are no motions filed under case manager. And the state's offer was placed on the record the last time this case was on an Orca calendar. But Mr. Kendall has indicated this will not be a plea. So I believe this would just need to go to a trial calendar.
That's fine with me, Your Honor, putting it on a trial calendar. I never opposed talking to the state about it, but I've been involved in this case since the very beginning in 2021. So I probably know just as much about it as anybody. And
this is not a case I think the state will want to try. But I do have motions in my file. I don't have stamped file copy, but they are dated September of 2021. If my office did not file it, Your Honor, I will get it filed and I will get the discovery from the state.
Okay, so if you tell me that there will be motions filed in the case, then I'm gonna put you on a motions calendar. And is that, Ms. Bolton, is that on May 3rd also?
No, Your Honor, one moment, please.
So, Mr. Kendall, I'm being told that those motions have not been filed, so I'm gonna need you to get those filed ASAP. And I'm going to put you
May 17th.
on the May 17th motions.
May 17th, Your Honor,
Yes,
that'll be fine, Judge. And I will make sure that those get filed today, Judge.
okay, very good.
All right, may I be excused?
Yes.
Thank
Have a good day. And you also, Ms. Brooks. I'll see you back in May.
All right, thank you.
And Mr. Kendall? Okay. Notice that for in person. Position 4, Gary Brooks.
This was Ms. Gant's case, and I spoke to her briefly. She left our office last week, Judge, but we're gonna set it for a jury trial. I don't know if Mr. Brooks is on Zoom or not, but we're gonna set it for a jury trial. Figure out who the attorney is between now and then.
Your Honor, the state would request a bench warrant as this they had notice of this calendar.
Mr. Brooks is on Zoom.
I'm on Zoom.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Brooks.
Good morning.
Okay, so your client's with us, Mr. Haddad.
Yes, Judge.
We'll further notice this for a jury trial.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay.
And can Mr. Brooks place his phone number on the chat line, Judge? Just make sure that I have it.
Did you hear that, Mr. Brooks?
Yes, I hear you.
And are you able to place your phone number in the chat for us?
Yeah, I'm doing it right now.
Okay, as soon as you do that, you're free to go. Have a good day, sir.
And I'll be in touch with you, Mr. Brooks. Thank you, Judge.
And, Your Honor, if the state may, I'd like to place the record on the record, the offer as it will be withdrawn.
Okay,
It was 12 months to serve 3 days, credit for time served 3 days, the balance suspended. The case would have closed today.
okay,
Judge, if he can provide this phone number, I'll reach out to him. I did not know the offer specifically, and I don't know if that was communicated by Ms. Gant or not,
okay.
but my understanding that he was maintaining his innocence, Judge, but I'll be happy to talk to him. Mr. Brooks, if you can just remain on the line on Zoom, and I'll give him a call, Judge.
Okay, so Mr. Brooks, Mr. Haddad would like to speak with you this morning, okay? So if you can hold on for us.
All right.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
Position 5, Alicia Burns.
And I have been in touch with Ms. Burns, Judge, and I do have a good phone number. She's maintaining her innocence, Judge. I would like to set it on the jury trial calendar.
Okay, further notice, jury trial. Ms. Burns, you'll get notice of the jury trial calendar and we'll see you back there. Okay.
Your Honor, if I may, I did send the body worn camera to Ms. Gant on February 23rd. So I'm not sure if she was able to forward that to Mr. Haddad prior to leaving.
We did receive the discovery on that case, Judge.
Okay. So apparently, Mr. Haddad has the discovery, Ms. Riley. Thank you. Anything further for Ms. Burns this morning?
No, on behalf of the defense, Judge.
All right. You're free to go, Ms. Burns. Have a good day. Position number 6, Cynthia Chambliss.
Your Honor, this is Ms. Gant's case as well. I've not had any contact with Ms. Chambliss. My understanding was going to be a jury trial, but if she's on, Judge, I'd like to talk to her. Oh, she is. Okay, great. If Ms. Chambliss can provide a phone number on chat line, and if I can ask the state to put the offer on the record, Judge, but I did want to speak to Ms. Chambliss, make sure that what she wants to do.
Okay,
Yes.
Ms. Chambers, are you with me?
She's there, Judge. She's on mute.
Okay, can you unmute yourself, Ms. Chambers?
Click the microphone button, Ms. Chambers.
Okay.
All right, so your counsel wants you to put your phone number in the chat for us so that we can get in contact with you, okay?
Okay, I don't know how to do that. I'm not, I don't know how to do it.
Okay.
Well, do you mind? I'm okay with it, but can you give me your phone number just now?
Yeah, 470-332-3802.
All right, I'll give you a call, ma'am, in a few minutes. Just stay on the line, okay?
Okay.
Your Honor,
Thank
if I may, for both position 5 and 6, place the offers on the record as if they're going to a jury trial calendar, the state will be withdrawing their offers.
Okay.
For position 5, Daesh Burns, to count 1, it was 12 months to serve 2 days, credit for time served 2 days, balance on probation, and to complete 1 theft prevention class. For count 2, it was restitution in the amount of $150. For position number 6, Cynthia Shambliss, it is 12 months suspended upon her staying away from the incident location, which is the Chevron gas station at 4340 Fulton Industrial.
And that's why I need to speak to Ms. Chambliss.
All right.
Thank you, Ms. Riley.
You're welcome.
Hang on for us, Ms. Chambers. We'll be with you, ma'am.
Okay.
Position 7, Giovanni Beltran.
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor, I'm here.
Yes, Mr. Beltran. Are you represented by counsel?
I think is that the public attorney?
Have you made application for the public defender at a previous session?
I have not, Your Honor. I don't even know how to do that.
Okay, so we have public defenders on the line today. Ms. Helen earlier, if you were on the line, gave instructions on how you could go about obtaining an application for the public defender. So I'm going to get you to talk with Ms. Helen. Are you with me?
Yes, Judge, if Mr. Beltran can just read me his phone number real quick, I'll give him a call.
Okay. My phone number is 470-910-2616.
All right, I'll give him a call, Judge.
Okay, thank you. Position 8, Jamil Gordon.
Yeah, Mr. Gordon is present. If I can sound, is the alleged victim, Ms. Hardrick, might be on Zoom. Is she on Zoom, Hardrick?
Yeah, I'm on here.
All right, Judge, I think Ms. Riley needed to speak to her in a breakout room. And we can have an announcement at that point, but at some point, whenever Ms. Riley is available, if she can speak to, and I think it was you, Ms. Riley.
That's correct, yes.
Okay, so tell me the name again, please.
Your Honor, the last name is Hardrick, Hardrick. And first name is Aliyah, that's Aaliyyah, and I apologize if I'm mispronouncing the first or last name.
So, Ms. Hardrick, if you will remain on the line, Ms. Riley is going to speak with you this morning, please. Yes.
If I may just briefly, this is a bit of a time sensitive matter. Ms. Dallas is here on behalf of Mr. Philip Smith, who's on the previous. Get to step away from court, and she does have an announcement on that case. Good morning, Judge. How are you?
Good morning, Ms.
I
Dallas.
filed a motion for continuance. My client's on the plane right now. His uncle died. His father's brother, he's on his way to Jamaica.
Okay.
He found out over the weekend when the funeral was going to be. So on Monday, as soon as I was able to, I filed a motion for continuance as soon as I talked to my client.
Okay, so had you all worked this matter out, or what are we going to do with the matter? So I'll know what type of.
We have not worked it out, Your Honor. I think what I'll just go ahead and put it on a trial.
Okay, so we're going to further notice this to the next jury trial calendar.
All right, thank you so much, sir.
Okay.
And just place on the record, an offer of 12 months.
Yeah,
Okay,
That's fine.
and you'll get notice of that,
May I
talk
please,
and.
Your Honor?
Say it again. Oh, yes, have a good
Thank
day.
you so much.
Thank you.
Your Honor, may I say something?
Yes, hold on just a moment for me.
Hey, Mr. Beltran, go ahead and log off. They know you're present on the Zoom call so that I can call you, okay?
Oh, I was gonna just ask a question.
Okay, Mr. Beltran.
Do I need the public defender if I'm pleading guilty?
You probably, because you're pleading guilty or you wish to plead guilty, I would like for you to see if you qualify for the public defender so they can represent you, Mr. Beltran.
Okay, yes, sir, because I already have pleaded guilty. I need to pay a.
And Your Honor, that is correct. I believe that Mr. Beltran's charges involve hunting, so he should be in person because it is essentially fees or fines, excuse me, and court costs in Stanter. So in order for him to enter this plea, he would have to make those payments, unless he would like to be placed on probation.
Are you with me, Mr. Beltran?
Yeah, yes, I would not like probation. I would definitely want to pay. I just will be happy if I can ask for more time and I will come up with the money.
What is the fine, Ms. Riley?
For count one, it is a $500 fine plus court costs, and count two is a $250 fine plus court costs. However, I will say this case was reset from the previous calendar because Mr. Beltran had bench warranted.
Okay. And Mr. Beltran, you do understand that, so that's a $700 fine, and it's probably going to be closer to $1,000 total.
Oh, 1,000, really?
Okay. With the court cost.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right. So, what would you like to do this morning?
I mean, I can't. I honestly can't. I don't have that money now, so I would just. I mean, I would like to see if you can give me more time, and then when that time does come, I will have the money.
Okay. So what I'm going to do, Mr. Beltran, is the next time I have a hearing, I'm going to require that you come down to court in person. Okay.
That's good to be, sir.
All right. So it's going to be May 3rd, the final plea calendar. If you will call down before that time to the clerk's office, Mr. Beltran, they can tell you exactly how much your fine is going to be. If you come down and you wish to plead guilty and pay the fine, and you can pay it on May 3rd, then you'll be done. If you wish to plead guilty and can't pay the fine on May 3rd, then you're going to have to be placed on probation so that you can go through probation for collection of the fine. You understand?
Yes, sir. Is there any way you can give me the number to the office I need to call ahead of time?
I can email him. I've been in correspondence with him.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, Your Honor, if I could also have that email address so I can send the paperwork to both Ms. Bolton and Mr. Beltran.
Okay, so Mr. Beltran, Ms. Bolton is going to get in touch with you regarding that. Which email address would you like, Ms. Riley?
Mr. Beltran's.
Okay.
Okay. Do you need me to type it out or say it out loud?
Can you put it in the chat for us?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
So you go ahead and do that, and we'll see you back in May. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome. Position number 9, Tante Gray. That case has been reset to the SAP calendar on March 7th. I understand.
That's my understanding, Your Honor.
Position number 10, Derek Head. Derek Head. I see you there,
I'm
Mr.
in the
Head.
Zoom. Yes, sir.
Yes, Mr. Head, did you hire counsel?
No, I couldn't, sir. I had to need more time too, but I was searching for a plea, just to plead guilty. but I knew I wasn't guilty for one account that was against me, and that was for the vandalism, but I was guilty for the trespassing.
Okay, Mr. Head, you've been charged in two cases. The first case is 21 CR 0017771E, simple battery, family violence. The second case is 22 CR 0069558E, criminal trespass and damage to property. You were here before at a previous calendar. I gave you additional time as you wish to hire counsel. It seems like you don't have counsel at the present time. And how are you wishing to proceed this morning?
I'm wishing to proceed. I plead guilty. I just want to know if I'm pleading guilty, what am I facing at the point? Because I did no violence and no harm to no one. There's no
Okay, hold on, Mr. Head. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. Okay, so I'm happy to let you speak with. Is this your case, Ms. Riley?
Yes, Your Honor, I can place the offers on the record. I did do that on the previous calendar, but I'm happy to do that again.
Okay, go ahead and do that for the court.
Okay, for position 10, it would be 12 months to serve 7 days, credit for time served 7 days. The balance would be suspended. The case would close today. For position 11, it would be 12 months to serve 7 days, credit for time served 7 days. The balance would be on probation until restitution is paid for the broken window, and probation can terminate upon payment of the restitution.
How much is the restitution?
Your Honor. And I apologize, I did not have that written down. Let me just take a look.
So, Mr. Head, that's the offer in the case.
Okay. Brother, I just go with it. I really just want to put this behind me because me and my mother, my child, we just had a child in October. So I have to pay a lot of attention to her. And I don't need this on my back. So I'm willing to deal with what I need to face.
Okay. Do you have, it seems like you're outside at the present time. Do you have access to a printer or anything of that nature?
Not at the moment, but I can get to one.
Okay, because we're gonna have to get you paperwork so that we can get that signed and returned to the court.
Okay.
All right. Do you have that restitution, Ms. Riley?
Your Honor, it would also be a time served offer, as I do not see the amount listed, and we do not have a current contact number for the victim. So I would withdraw the restitution portion.
Okay, so you'll be done with this today, Mr. Head. So you go ahead and get yourself to a place where you can receive paperwork. If you can put your email in the chat for Ms. Riley so that she can get that to you, okay?
Okay, most definitely. I will, sir.
All right, and we'll be back. We'll be back to you, Mr. Head. Thank you.
Thank
you. Position number 12, Karan Johnson. This is Miss Watson Cafe's.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Johnson. Let's see, have you heard from Miss Watson Cafe regarding your case?
I have not.
Okay, we're gonna try to get in touch with Miss Watson Cafe this morning, so if you'll just hang on the line for me, okay?
All right.
I'm sorry, position 12.
It is.
There is a conflict letter that was filed by his counsel. It's a conflict letter filed by counsel for today, Your Honor.
When was it filed?
One moment. Correct. I just received it via email this morning.
Okay. Mr. Johnson, I'm gonna reset you. Apparently your counsel has a conflict for this morning. The conflict letter was just filed this morning, so unfortunately, it sounds like she didn't get in touch with you, but I appreciate you being with us.
Yeah, I spoke to my last court date. My attorney had the conflict of interest because of it wasn't my co-defendant,
but my child's mother's on the same case with me. We're like, we have the same case, but we're not co-defendants. I don't know how what it's called, but we had the same lawyer. So the lawyer, being at both of our cases, they were supposed to separate our cases and give us a new lawyer like that.
Right, right. And that's what the court did. Ms. Watson Cafe is a conflict attorney. So given that there's a conflict, I'm going to reset you for May 3rd and put you on a final plea calendar, okay?
All right.
All right, I'll see you back on May 3rd, and we'll get in touch with Ms. Watson Cafe and notify her also.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Position 13, Jaquavis Jones. It's my understanding that he's in custody.
Judge, I mean, I would love to take an all-pros. I mean, he's in prison until 2026. So, I mean, I don't know what else to do. So,
And just given the nature of the charges, Your Honor, we did not want to null pros this case at this time.
well, I mean, at some point, the burden is on the state to have them produced because, I mean, come 2026 and this case is still pending, I think they're going to have, issues with constitutional demands, Judge. But I mean, I don't know. But that's not my case to prosecute.
If it's possible, I don't know if that the jail has a way that he can be on Zoom for the hearing, Your Honor. But just given the nature of this case, we are not willing to null pros it.
Your Honor, I believe that Ms. Gant was supposed to facilitate the in custody, the hearing via Zoom, but I don't know how that happened.
Did you hear that, Mr. Haddad? No. Before Ms. Gant left, it was I'm being told that she was trying to facilitate the hearing by Zoom.
Right,
So-
Judge. I think that has to start from the courts. They won't. I mean, DOC will not take a defense attorney's request to set it on Zoom. That's always been the DOC policy. So now he's at Wheeler State Prison, and I don't know. I mean, some prisons, most of the prisons do have some capabilities. So if it's reset for whatever date that's available for the prison, of course, the court, I'll be here, and we can try and resolve it. But short of that, Judge, we are where we are.
Okay, so I am going to
and I'll provide
a notice that I'm for a trial calendar. And once it's on a trial calendar, you and Ms. Githier need to, I guess, figure out how to get him here.
And that's fine, Judge.
You understand, Ms. Githier?
Yes, Your Honor. And Your Honor, also just for the record, I am still waiting to see if it's possible that this case may be transferred to Superior Court. If I can just make sure that's placed on the record as well.
Okay. And let us know if that's accomplished. Or
I will.
when it's accomplished. Position 14, Nicholas Jones. NICHLAS Jones.
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. Attorney Ben Mazinga, on behalf of Mr. Jones. I just need to briefly pre-try this with the state, see if we can come to a resolution on it.
Okay, is this your case, Ms. Githier?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll put you into a breakout room at the end of the calendar with Ms. Githier and Mr. Mozinga.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Position 15, Derek Lowe Wilson.
Your Honor, he's also position number 16, Judge. I did expect him to be on Zoom. But the recommendation from the state is the maximum of 4 years in custody. So my announcement is jury trial.
Okay, is this you, Mr. Lowe Wilson, on iPhone?
Yeah, this is me.
Okay, good morning, sir.
How you doing?
So, doing well, thank you. Your case is going to be further notice for trial calendar. Okay, so we'll see you back. In that trial. in that trial. Anything further, Mr. Dodd? Anything
No,
further, Mr.
Judge,
Dodd?
thank you. No, thank you. Thank you, Judge.
Have a good day, sir.
Sure.
Position 17, Eric Lyle, that case was not passed. Position 18, Luke Marks. It's my
Marks is in custody on other charges. There's a pending evaluation. I don't think that has been completed, Judge.
Okay. And I have down that he's been placed on the competency calendar.
They're gonna end up placing that on there. So for the record, the order was incorrect. So now he wasn't in custody, now he's in custody. So.
Okay. Well, I'll get with Ms. Bolton, make sure whatever I need to do gets done correctly, Judge.
Okay.
That is, he is in custody as far as I know on perhaps felony charge, although I'm not 100% sure.
All right. So at this point in time, what would you like to do with this matter? Just further notice it?
I mean, I would, Judge. I mean, if I'm assuming mental health is an issue, so there's not a whole lot I can do about it other than maybe reset it to whatever calendar. And I'll get together with Ms. Bolton to make sure that whatever paperwork if we submitted it incorrectly, I'll rectify, Judge. But so I would ask for resets. I mean, I just don't know. This is not my case. I don't know anything about it. Judge was Ms. Gantz.
Okay, so we'll reset it for May 3rd to see.
That's fine, Judge, and I'll give it to it.
Far enough out on the
If
status.
it's one of those, mental health is not really an issue. I'm
I
sure.
understand. Okay, May 3rd status calendar.
And Your Honor, I heard Mr. Haddad say that he's in custody. Where is he in custody?
Judge, I believe he's in Fulton County Jail. I mean,
Yes.
I'm getting some cases mixed up, but I'm pretty sure I looked him up as recently as Monday and he was in custody. It might be on I believe it's nothing to do with this case specifically. I think it might be a burglary charge.
Okay.
But he is in custody.
All right. Did you get that, Ms. Gutierrez?
Yes, I did. Thank you, Your Honor.
Position 19 and Druette Norman.
Oh, good morning, Judge. Yeah, Mr. Norman, he had stepped out because he went with the prosecutor to sign the paperwork for diversion. And I just received an email, so that will be so that this case is going to the diversion program.
Okay, very good. Do we need to reset it?
I would think so. I haven't had a chance to look at the details yet. I just got the email a couple minutes ago.
How far out should we reset it?
Let me give me a moment.
I mean, can he
I'm
have
thinking
that?
60 days would be enough time for him to complete diversion.
Okay.
Let me see. Okay, so May 3rd status calendar.
Yeah, that sounds good, Judge. May 3rd status calendar.
All right. And if Mr. Norman has everything he needs, he can be excused. Mr. Gaither.
Mr. Norman. I'll call you.
Position number 20, Delonda Robinson.
Ms. Robinson, you present? Ms. Robinson, you on Zoom? Well, Your Honor, I was just speaking to her as early as this morning.
I'll give you till the end of the calendar.
I'm here.
Good morning, Ms. Robinson. Mr. Gaither.
Good morning. I'm actually in the court. The courthouse. I just don't know where I'm at. I'm lost.
Okay. I'll hope for your announcement.
Okay,
All right,
thank
so
you.
we're at G33, Ms. Robinson. So if you can maybe get some assistance and make your way here.
Okay.
That is a potential plea. Now I've forgotten which solicitor it was, whether it was Ms. Githier or Ms. Rowley. I sent an email to you.
It was I sent you I'll double check. I thought I sent you the plea paperwork. But I'll double check.
And I know we've been jam-packed busy and I'm mixing cases up too. So if And I'm just talking before we break out the break talk rooms, Ms. Githier, if you check your email.
Yes, it was sent,
ask you
it
a
was sent to
question.
you. I'm sorry, it
Okay.
was sent to you.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Ms.
Got it,
Ms.
I got it.
Robinson, you don't have to be on camera. You can just make your way to the courthouse, okay? To the
Okay.
courtroom. All right.
Okay.
Position,
Thank you, Judge.
okay. So I'll hold for the announcement on Ms. Robinson. Position 21, Darren Scott.
That's my case too, Judge. Mr. Scott, are you on Zoom?
Darren Scott. I'll give you to the end of the calendar.
Thanks, Judge, because I've been in touch with him as well. I was expecting him to be on Zoom. Yeah, let me contact him.
Position 22, Alexander Tejada.
Mr. Tejada is my case, Judge. I did expect him to be on Zoom. I was gonna announce bench trial, Judge, for, I think, April 19th. I think is the date, or any other day, Judge.
Okay.
I am not seeing him on Zoom, Your Honor. The state would request a bench warrant.
And Judge, we're gonna be here for a little while. I'll step outside and give him a call. I spoke to him as recently as yesterday or Monday.
All right, so once he appears, what is that bench trial date, Ms. Bolton?
One more, Your Honor. Monica, do you have more bench trials on the 19th? Do you have more on the 19th?
So we'll get you the date, Mr. Dodd.
Thank you, Judge.
April 19th, Your Honor.
April 19th, in person at 1:30,
Yes.
okay? Position 23, Jacinta Wilson. Represented by Ms. Butler.
Good morning, Judge. I'm present. We have a negotiated plea ready for your consideration, Judge. Ms. Wilson, Ms. Wilson is present, I believe.
Okay, very good. And have we gotten the paperwork completed and to the court?
Yes, sir. I've sent it to Ms. Githier and
Ms. Reddy.
Monica. I forgot her last name. I'm sorry.
Okay, so we will, once we get that paperwork, we'll get the plea taken. Thank you, Mr. Butler.
Thank you, Judge.
Ms. Wilson, we'll be with you. Okay, that completes the call of the calendar. Is there anyone on the Zoom call that did not hear their name? Is there anyone in court with you that did not hear their name? Okay, so what we'll do is I'll go ahead and take whatever pleas are ready. Ms. Githier and Ms. Riley, I know that you have a number of people that are on the Zoom call that you need to be put in breakout rooms with.
Yes, Your Honor, if I could go into a breakout room with Attorney Sarah Hoffman.
Okay.
Yeah, before we break out, there's an announcement that counsel has to make about one of his clients for the show cause calendar.
John, Mr. Christopher Bailey, I think I heard him. He's on Zoom, Judge. He's actually on the show cause at 1:30, but he's on Zoom. The plea paperwork has been signed. He's at work. So if the court is inclined on handling the plea, Judge, I understand if the court does not, but the paperwork has been signed. So.
Okay, I'm happy to handle it and as soon as I can. What's his name?
Christopher Bailey. I believe I heard the name. Somebody say Christopher Bailey.
Mr. Bailey? Christopher Bailey?
Yes.
Okay, all right, Mr. Bailey. Mr. Haddad is in court and you are on the 1:30 calendar, but I'm gonna go ahead and take your plea as soon as I can this morning. So if you'll just stay on the line with me, okay?
Thank you. Thank you, Judge.
Okay, all right, thank you. So Ms. Riley and Ms. Hoffman need to go into a breakout room. Ms. Githier, I know that you need to
Mr.
go into
Mozingo? I need to
Right.
speak.
Position 14 is Mr. Mozingo with me. Yes, you're there. You're.
Sorry, Your Honor.
All right,
I'm,
so
I'm slow to the mute button this morning. Sorry about that.
You're fine. I'm gonna go ahead and put you into a breakout room with Ms. Githia.
I appreciate it.
Everyone else is on the Zoom call that needs to go into a breakout room. If you'll be patient with the court, we will get you in as soon as we can. As far as the please go.
And Your Honor, I don't mean to interrupt you, but Mr. Hollingsworth, on the final plea calendar, we are ready and prepared for that plea.
Okay, and Ms. Helen, do we have the, have you gotten the paperwork to the court?
Well, as soon as we have the final plea hearing, just to make sure I didn't make any mistakes on the plea paperwork, I will be scanning that over to the court.
Oh.
Okay.
Your Honor, we do have an announcement on Oliver as well.
And which calendar is that on? Yes.
That case can be set down for the first meeting. Mr. Rhodes did indicate that the program should be completed by then.
Okay, so,
We'll be able to go ahead and tender whatever orders we need a judge to sign at that point. Because he should be completed with the program.
and that should be the final plea calendar?
Well,
Or,
yes, but it's a good thing. And also, he's completed, pre-trial version.
okay, so I'll place it on the April 5th final plea calendar at 9 o'clock. Does that work for everybody? Okay.
I don't know about
As well? Yes, okay. Yes, okay, you'll get the notice also. All right, have a good day.
I can give you another. I don't have to do it. I didn't have one for building. The contact name.
Okay, I'm just gonna take these in the order that I have them before me here. The first one I have is Lydell Northington.
He's right there.
Okay, very good, thank you. Good morning again, Mr. Northington. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, sir. Whenever you're ready. Ms. Faulkner.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm so sorry. Can you repeat what you were saying?
I said whenever you're ready.
Oh, yes, Your Honor. In this case, Mr. Northington is agreeing to the following, on count one, the plea and eluding 12 months probation to serve 25 days. He will get credit for 1 day he has already served. Balance on probation, a $1,000 fine. And we do not oppose him reporting by phone or email. I do understand from Mr. Fisher's representation that he does reside out of state. On count two, right side of the roadway, 12 months concurrent, $250 fine. Count three, failure to obey traffic control device, 12 months concurrent, $250 fine. Would you like me to go over the facts of the case, Your Honor?
Yes.
Or would you just like the defense?
Whichever.
We can stipulate to the factual basis, Judge.
Okay.
And Vinny.
Say it again.
Vinny.
And Vinny.
That's fine, Judge.
Okay, yes, Mr. Fisher. Anything further, Mr. Fisher?
Judge, now we just have extensive discussions with the state on this case, Your Honor. My client's been very proficient, proactive in getting some things done on his case. He does reside out of state. He is prepared to put himself in today. And we're hoping Your Honor goes along with the negotiated plea.
Okay. Mr. Northington, it's my understanding that in case 22 CR 007232, you wish to plead guilty to fleeing and attempting to elude, failure to obey traffic device and wrong side of the roadway. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
I'm going to accept the plea as negotiated, Mr. Northington. So it's my understanding that he will be turned in today.
We'll fill it out in a second.
Anything further?
Judge, I just have to go over the probation intake sheet with him. If I can do that with him before he turns himself in.
Okay, very good.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Northington.
You're gonna stay right here.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I had the opportunity to speak with Ms. Riley, and I'm gonna, if I could be back and see you.
You agree with everything?
I'm sorry, you went out for a moment. Say it again.
Oh, I just wanted to let Your Honor know that I've had an opportunity now to speak with Ms. Riley, and before I leave the Zoom call, I want to officially ask the court if I may be excused now. I plan to see you back third.
Thank you, Ms. Hoffman. I appreciate it. You have a good day. We'll see you back next time.
All right, thanks, bye.
You're welcome. Ms. Riley, do you need to go into the breakout room with,
Miss Aaliyah Hardrick.
okay? Are you with me, Ms. Hardrick? Ms. Hardrick?
I'm on here.
Okay, so Ms. Hardrick, we're gonna put you into a breakout room with Ms. Riley now, okay?
Okay.
And who do I have?
Mr. Silver.
It's family's here. They can take this.
I think he was trying something today.
And this is Ms. Githie's case, I believe.
I don't.
Ms. Githie is in a breakout room at the present time, so I'll get you as soon as Mr. Silva, as soon as she comes back from the break.
We can take a step back, Judge.
All right. Who do we have? Let's see. The next I have is Shuri, William Shuri.
Mr. Sherry's attorney, Mr. Merritt, just had to step outside to look into an issue about the license, the first license suspension and how he can request a permit.
Okay, so I'll come back to that.
Your Honor, I apologize. I was going into the breakout room with Ms. Hardrick, but I believe with her being on her cell phone, she is probably not going to be able to join
Okay.
the breakout room.
Can you speak with her? Can you give her a call, Ms. Riley?
Yes, Your Honor, but I think that will require her to leave the Zoom and then have to come back because she's going to have to place certain information on the record in order for me to move forward with Mr. Gordon's case.
Okay, so Ms. Hardrick, can you unmute yourself for the court, please?
Yes.
Okay, so if you can go ahead, do you have her number, Ms. Riley?
I do not.
Okay, Ms. Hardrick, would you mind giving Ms. Riley your number so that she can give you a call?
Okay. No, I'm trying to see how to do it.
Do you have access to the chat?
Yeah.
Okay, if you can place it in the chat directly to me.
What's your name?
Denise Riley.
Okay, and when you do that, Ms. Hardrick, if you'll go ahead and get off the Zoom so that Ms. Riley can speak with you, you can join the Zoom call again once you've spoken to her, okay?
Okay.
All right, so let me go to position number 4, I believe Stephen Hicks. Are we ready for the plea with Mr. Hicks?
For your counsel. Your counsel.
Mr. Hicks?
Counsel.
That's what I'll do now.
Yes, so. Mr. Lewis?
Mr. Silver.
Yes, I have to because Ms. Githia is in a breakout room and she's on the Zoom call and that's her case.
I'm standing in for Mr. Nash this morning.
Okay, so we're with Mr. Hicks. All right, good morning again, Mr. Hicks. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you put your hand down. Thank you.
Your Honor, the state's recommendation on this case is on count 1, reckless driving, 12 months probation, $500.
Hello, Ms. Arthur.
Okay, Ms. Hardrick, you're gonna have to
Oh.
No, you're still on the gun.
A $500 fine and probation may be terminated after 6 months. On count 2, the count of lane drag, state's recommendation is 12 months probation, payment of $500 fine in stanter. Balance is probated, termination after 6 months. The state would ask if the defense stipulates to identification, venue, and the facts on it.
We stipulate.
Okay. Yes, Ms. Lewis.
Yes, Your Honor. As far as the terms of the plea, they are previously negotiated. I believe the issue is whether or not the court would accept the plea of nolo on these charges. And so we were planning to present the mitigating argument for Your Honor to consider.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, Judge. So Mr. Hicks is 26 years old now. He was 22 years old at the time of the incident, which was May of 2020. He is from Jonesboro, went to high school in Jonesboro, still lives there. He has been driving for UPS for the last 4 years. He has 3 dependents that he takes care of. And I believe he has no history prior to this or after this, Your Honor. So I think he has displayed that he learned from this incident. I do believe that he accepts responsibility. He realizes what he did was stupid and he is taking full responsibility for it. We were asking the court to enter a nolo plea today so that it does not affect his ability to continue working at UPS. I believe there would be some license issues that would come along with convictions on those charges, and that is why we were asking the court to indulge that this morning, Judge.
Your Honor, the only thing the state would put on the record is he does have a February 2021 driving offense, which was did not result in an accident. He is also
I don't know. I've been at HOV line.
was on
I don't remember.
and it appears he was county, for which there were a couple of probation violations in 2017 and 2008. But that is all that the state has on as far as right. And the charges, 2021 charges improper. Right.
Okay, I am, I don't want to affect his job, so I am gonna let him, a no-lo. if that's
Thank you, Your Honor.
what he chooses to do on these.
Thank you.
Okay,
Appreciate it.
anything further?
The only other issue we had, Judge, was I believe there's a $500 payment in lieu of the suspension for the jail time. May Mr. Hicks pay that by this Friday, because he does not have the $500 today. I don't know if that was communicated to him by Mr. Nash, and I'm just coming into it this morning, trying to do my best. He just indicated he could have it on Friday, but I'm not sure how that would work.
I will say my communications have always been clear and standard. I don't.
So he's gonna be on probation for the reckless driving,
Yes,
right?
Your Honor. So we are willing to allow that fine to be paid over the course of his probation. So that would be $1,000 fine to be paid over the course of probation as opposed to 500 in standard and 500 to be paid over probation.
Okay.
And that would suspend the jail time.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay, yes.
that works, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. Anything further?
Nothing, Judge.
Mr. Hicks, it's my understanding that in case 22 CR 007171, you wish to plead no longer reckless driving and laying drags. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with her representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading no low to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead no low?
Yes, sir.
I'll accept the no low plea as negotiated.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And let's see. We'll give you where you need to report to probation if you can do that in the next 2 weeks.
Okay. All right.
Anything further?
Further, Your Honor, and that is all my business, if I may.
Yes, have a good day.
Thank you so much.
Ms. Githia,
Yes, Your Honor.
let's see, are you prepared to take the plea for Mr. Nathan Silva?
Yes.
Okay, so why don't we go ahead and do that now? Just let me know when you're ready.
Let me find the calendar.
I am ready, Your Honor.
Okay. Good morning again, Mr. Silva. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Put your head down. Yes, Ms. Githia.
Yes, Your Honor. If this case were to proceed to trial, the state expects the evidence to show that on November 27th, 2021, officers responded to an assault at 7850 Roswell Road in Fulton County, and they observed the victim, Ms. Charlene Schuler, was bleeding from her left eyelid, and there was also a large protruding contusion on her eyelid as well. The other victim, Mr. Ko Mercio, was also struck by the defendant, Nathan Silva, in the lip. I'm sorry, he was struck in the mouth by Mr. Silva. He was struck in the mouth with the closed fist. The offer is the battery family violence was reduced to a battery. And it's 11 months, 29 days to serve 8 days, credit for time served 4 days, no additional jail time, the balance probated, a family violence intervention program, 1 parenting class, and no contact with the victims, Charlene Schuler and Ko Mercio. And that's for both counts of the batteries have been reduced. Both counts of battery family violence have been reduced to battery. The cruelty to children in the 3rd degree would be null pros. And that's all I have, Your Honor.
Okay. Counsel.
Judge, that is my understanding as well. I believe the the state has no opposition to my client being able to report by mail or phone if necessary, if he's in compliance, and then to be able to go on a non-reporting status once it completes all the conditions, the classes, with no further violations.
That is correct, no objection.
Okay. Mr. Silva, it's my understanding that in case 21 CR 006959D, you wish to plead guilty to 2 counts of battery. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Anyone forced or coercion to plead guilty?
Yes. No, sorry.
All right.
No,
I will accept the plea as negotiated, Mr. Silva. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Judge. Once I walk my client to probation, can I be excused?
Yes.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
It is also my understanding that Mr. Northern is going to be allowed to be driven to custody this morning.
Say it again. I'm
My
sorry.
understanding is that Mr. Northington will be allowed to be driven to custody this morning.
Oh, that's.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine with the court. Yes.
I'm sorry, I did not hear what you said, Your Honor.
But it's also, hold on, he's given credit for the time that was served. So it's my understanding that there's not going to be any additional jail.
Right, there's two different clients of mine. Mr.
Oh.
Northington is going to be driven.
Oh.
Mr. Silva's going to go home.
Right, yes,
Okay.
yes.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Silva. Are we ready on Mr. Timothy Horn?
He, just that paper. Yeah.
Okay, was that probation, right?
Your Honor,
Yes.
A.G. Riley, if Mr. Haddad is ready on position 8 on Orca C status conference, Gordon, I believe I can make an announcement now. I've spoken with Ms. Hardrick.
I'm ready. I'm here.
Ms. Hardrick, are you able to turn your camera on?
And Ms. Riley, tell me what case this is and what calendar it's on.
Yes, Your Honor. It's the Orca C status conference calendar, position 8, Jamil Gordon.
Okay, thank you.
Where is it? Is she from the paperwork? What are?
It's not a plea.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And
No,
just,
but-
is Ms. Hardrick with us?
She is.
I'm right here.
Okay. Can
Would
you
you
raise
like-
your right?
Oh,
Does she
I'm
need to
sorry.
be sworn in, Ms. Riley?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Hardrick, would you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, ma'am. What would you like to tell the court?
Your Honor, if I may ask Ms. Hardrick a few questions.
Go ahead, Ms. Riley.
Thank you. Ms. Hardrick, do you recall an incident or the police coming to your residence on May 30th of 2020?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. And do you remember as a result of that, the police being called, that Mr. Jamil Gordon was placed into custody?
You said he was placed into custody?
Yes. Was he arrested on that day?
I believe so. I'm not sure because I didn't stay the whole time. So.
Okay. And at that time, did you indicate to the police that Mr. Gordon had slapped you?
I honestly don't remember the police report. Yeah.
Okay. And so is it your testimony now here today that Mr. Gordon did not slap you?
Correct.
If you could answer yes or no for me.
Yes.
Okay. And thank you. No further questions from the state. I'm not sure if Mr. Haddad has any questions.
I don't have any questions, Judge.
Your Honor, based on that, the state's accusation was drawn for a simple battery based on Mr. Gordon slapping Ms. Hardrick, and based on the testimony just given that he did not smack her, the state would have insufficient evidence to move forward, and we will tender a null pros in this case.
Okay, so if you get that to the court, we'll get it signed. Anything further for Ms. Hardrick this morning?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Yeah, you're free to go, Ms. Hardrick. Anything further for Mr. Gordon this morning?
No, Judge. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Riley. And if my client can be excused, I can provide him with the appropriate order at the once it's signed, Judge.
Okay, very good, Mr. Haddad. Mr. Gordon can be excused. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see. Ms. Riley, do you need to go into the breakout room with anyone else at present, to your knowledge?
Not to my knowledge, Your Honor.
Okay. And Mr. Mazinga, was there an announcement for your case?
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, I'm requesting additional time to speak with the state. Just by way of explanation, in December, I was talking with Miss Marshall's story about this case, and we were optimistic about reaching a resolution. And then Ms. Githia had emailed me yesterday, and the offer that was extended was much different than we had contemplated, or that I had contemplated. And I do need time to speak with my client about that. He is in the DUI program in DeKalb County, and is set to successfully complete it in April. And I do think and hope that that would be part of what I would like to discuss with the state. So if Your Honor would continue us to a further calendar, I will say in April 13th, I will be having my first child, a daughter. And so I would request that it would be a May calendar if possible.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So May 3rd, final plea calendar, does that work for you?
Well, Your Honor, only the calendar date would be fine, but I mean, I'm not at this point waiving right to jury trial or anything like that.
Right, so if you come back for the final plea calendar and it's not a plea, then I'll place you on the next available.
Okay, all right, yeah. Just didn't know if that had a substantive difference between that and like a status calendar, but May 3rd sounds great, Your Honor.
Okay, you'll get notice and we'll see you back on May 3rd.
And would that be at 9 a.m., Your Honor?
Yes.
All right, thank you so much, Your Honor.
All right.
Thank you, Ms. Githia. Y'all have a good day.
Do the same. Good luck.
All right, are we excused, Your Honor?
Yes, have a good day. Okay. And this is Mr. Horn.
Yes.
Am I taking over your job by slowing it down?
Raise your right hand. Do you swear upon the testimony here today the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Below your right hand.
Good morning again, Mr. Horn. Yes, Ms. Paul.
Yes, on this case, there are 14 counts. The state is moving forward as count 1, which is fleeing or eluding. 2, which is the record of driving. 6, which is failure to yield for emergency vehicle. 10, which is improper passing, and count 12, which is the racing count. The state is dismissing the remainder of the charges that has been ignored to threaten the no person prosecutor on the charges, which I just sent her, so my apologies for that.
That's fine.
But the state's recommendation on count 1 of the eluding 12 months for 30 days to serve, balance of probation, a $1,000 fine. The state does not accept work release, and we have to doubt the arrange for that. Count 2, the reckless driving, 12 months probation, $500 fine. That will run concurrent to count 1. Count 6, failure to yield to an emergency vehicle, 12 months probation. That is to run concurrent with count 1. Count 10, improper passing, 12 months probation. That will run concurrent with count 1. Count 12, racing, 12 months to serve 30 days. $500 fine that is to run concurrent with count 1. I will also need the defendant to fill out this official notice of revocation. This is pleading to the count, and the state would ask for a stipulation on the facts, venue, and identification by the defense.
Oh, we stipulate, Judge. Anything further, Mr. Winfrey?
No, we just ask that you accept the recommendation.
Mr. Horn, it's my understanding that in case 22 CR 007173, you. We're ready. Okay, just, I'm happy to give you time to talk if you need to. Again, Mr. Horn, it's my understanding that in case 22 CR 007173, you wish to plead guilty to fleeing or attempting to elude a police officer, reckless driving, failure to yield right of way to an emergency vehicle, improper passing, and racing. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
Yes.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated. Mr. Horn. Good luck to you, sir.
Judge, on the suspension of the driver's license, can we get a permit for the drive back and forth to work during that time period?
I have no objection to that. Okay, yes. And we have, okay, we'll get you.
Okay. And Judge, as far as working out the work release, I would like 2 weeks to get it done, but I would also like it in the order that he can report to the jail anytime within 2 weeks, because we can get it done before then. I want to be able to go in and, let's say we get it done tomorrow, I like him to get a report tomorrow. I want to give us 2 weeks to make sure we have enough time to get it done.
Okay, I believe the jail needs a time certain when he's gonna turn himself in. So, I would think that you might want to push it out. I don't know how long it's gonna take you to work that out. I wouldn't imagine that it would take very long.
We'll do 1 week, Judge.
Okay. Ms. Falk?
Your Honor, I reached out this morning to the contact that I have at the jail, to see if anybody can kind of point us in the right direction. I do not assume it will take longer than probably by the end of the week to get a definitive answer. I did ask, but I know the jail isn't, really huge fan of people popping up to turn themselves in on random days. So
Right.
I do think we need to pick a date, sort of 2 weeks out to give the defendant and the jail enough time to do the coordination so that he can turn himself in and start working.
I'm fine with that, Judge.
Okay, so you just want to do 2 weeks from today?
2 weeks from today would work, Judge.
Okay, all right. Okay, we'll get that accomplished. Anything further?
That's all, Judge. May be excused.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate you working that out.
Thank you, Judge.
So just put that on the record, that's gonna happen for a date,
March 14th,
March 5th.
15th. Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right. Thank you very much.
Let's see. Did council come back in for Mr. William Shuri?
I do not see Mr. Merritt yet. I think he might still be outside.
Okay.
The limited purpose option.
We'll go on to Mr. Jamal Johnson.
That's all good.
All right, good morning again, Mr. Johnson. Morning. Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, the defendant is entering a plea to count 1, which is the raising. That is going to be a payment of $500 to the state. Count 2 and count 3 will merge into count 1. I do understand that the defendant is going to request the court entertain a no plea. To that end, I just want to put a couple of things on the record. This defendant has in October 2021, a speeding violation 99 and a 70. In January 2017, had a speeding violation of 75 and a 60. And in 2016, had an improper erratic lane change. He also has speeding in 2015, 86 and a 65. there's a bit of a trend here regarding this defendant's driving history. Additionally, this defendant has 5 cycles on his history. He pled guilty in 2005 to disorderly conduct, willful obstruction. In 2006, was acquitted of driving while license suspended. He also has had a number of charges for aggravated assault and family violence battery. Those were null crossed in 2012, and a 2018 dismissed family violence battery, and then a 2018 battery disorderly conduct where we're showing no disposition on that case. In this case, Your Honor, the facts are that on April 27th of 2020, on 285, the officer observed 2 black color vehicles traveling at a high rate of speed, which appeared to be racing. The first vehicle began to get closer. The officer was able to establish via the radar on the front and rear antenna that the vehicle was going approximately 140 miles per hour in a 65 mile per hour zone. The other vehicle, they were not able to identify, but they were able to pull over this vehicle, which is named Mr. Jamal Johnson. He stated he was trying to get away from the vehicle because he thought they were trying to shoot him. They asked if he called law enforcement to advise of that. They did not, and then they placed him under arrest.
How fast was he going?
140 in a 65 mile per hour zone on 285.
Counsel.
Good morning, Your Honor. My client does wish to enter a no contendere plea. I understand there is some stuff on his record. A lot of the stuff that was mentioned is a little bit older. The more serious stuff seems to have been no cross, or there's no conviction on it of guilty. My client, he has 4 children. He's got a grandchild, I believe. He takes this matter very seriously. He does not ever intend to get himself in this situation again. My client has maintained since 2020 this story where somebody pulled a gun on him in this incident, and he was scared for his life, essentially. I don't normally take racing cases, but I believe my client's story about the gun due to the details and being consistent over time.
And Your Honor, the state just wants to point out that this incident involving this defendant happened in April of 2020. In October of 2021, he was arrested and charged and convicted in Tift County for 99 and a 70. So there's a pattern.
I am willing to entertain the plea. I'm not willing to entertain the no-lo, given the speed and given the history. So if he wants to plead guilty, then I will entertain that. If he wants to plead no-lo, I won't allow that.
Would Your Honor consider some sort of limited permit in order to work?
You're an objection from the state? I have no objection to him having
network.
24/7 though.
Where is he working, counsel? I didn't hear anything regarding his working.
I actually work 3 jobs, sir.
Okay.
One is in Peachtree City, one is in off of Moreland Avenue, I guess, Atlanta. And then the other one is in College Park.
Okay.
That's why I just wanted you to at least take the no-lo so I wouldn't get suspended. Like I said, I work for my family. I was not racing. I was driving to work at the time. I had my uniform on. I had my lunch in the car when the officer pulled me up. So where were you going? I'm fully clothed in a uniform. I was a supervisor for 10 years at McPherson Oil right up the street. This situation just really kind of messed with my life. I got a gun pulled out on me. If I would have had my gun like I told the officer, I would have killed the guy. I would probably been in jail for that, whatever the case may be. But I didn't have my gun. I couldn't call the police because I seen the gun and I panicked. I pressed the gas and I tried to get away. As the officer said, he seen two black cars, one car pulled up on the side of me. I didn't know what to do. I don't think, the only thing I do, Your Honor, is work. Provide for my family. That's why I work 3 jobs right now. I have a grandchild, stay with me. I have 4 daughters, 17, 16, 11, and 9.
But the problem is that if at that rate of speed, you know, and I understand what you're telling me for, you could have killed yourself, you could have killed somebody else that's an innocent victim on the roadway.
Yes, sir.
No, so there are a lot of things that could have gone wrong with speeds and that excess. I'm also being told by the state that, you know, regardless of that, you know, what was it, 90 and 99 and 70, you know, so I agree with the state.
Yes, sir.
That, you know, that if you did not have anything else on your record, that might be one thing. But, you know, you have other speeding charges in a similar nature around the same time that are on your record. I don't want to limit your ability to provide for your family. That's, you know, that's the exact opposite of what, you know, I'd like for you to see you doing. It seems as though that you're doing that. Go ahead.
And Your Honor, just to add, the state's reading of the racing code that we have confirmed this with our office, even if the defendant didn't take NOLA, it does not avoid the license suspension. And so, you know, if Your Honor wishes to give him, or if you wish to apply for a limited permit or what have you, the state doesn't object to that. He has the right to apply for a limited permit under a first conviction. However, I do not think a NOLA will, at least the state's reading is that a NOLA will not avoid the consequence that he's trying to avoid.
Okay. Counsel?
I had a different reading on the NOLA, Your Honor. I can see that I might be wrong about that. I believe my client, his main concern is being able to drive through work. So he would be willing to accept the plea as long as he's able to get to and from his various jobs.
Okay, so I will, I don't have any objection. I don't think the state has any objection for him applying for a limited permit to get to and from work. So we won't, there's no issue with that. And I agree with the state that I don't think that he's going to avoid the consequences of that suspension with the NOLA. So does he wish to go forward with a guilty plea?
Yes, sir. Will it be a problem if I work around the clock? Because I actually work at 4 a.m. until 2 p.m. and then 3:30 p.m. until 1 a.m.
So as long as you're going to and from work, wherever you're working, whatever times you're working.
Yes, sir.
And you'll be able to go back and forth to work.
Yes, sir.
You know, if you get pulled over and it's something that does not involve work, you know that's going to be a problem.
No, sir. I don't do anything, sir, so I have no life.
Okay. Anything further before I take the thing?
The limited permit, is that issued officially by DDS or is that?
Yeah. It'll be issued by DDS.
Okay. And is there anything we would need to discuss from your office, Your Honor? Or
We're providing you with the paperwork, and that's pretty much, I think, all that's going to be required.
okay, thank you, Your Honor. And as far as the suspension is concerned, is that a 6-month suspension?
I believe so. Ms. Falk, do you have the answer to the council's question?
I am so sorry, Your Honor. What was the council's question?
I believe it's a 6-month suspension. Can you confirm that?
120 days.
120 days. Okay.
Is my understanding. I will say, our intrepid attorney, Mr. Alex Fair, did some creative work on the limited permit form that I think he would do well to copy, just to assist him along in getting this limited.
Okay, thank you. I think that would be helpful.
We'll review that, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Anything further before I take the plea?
No, nothing further.
Mr. Johnson, it's my understanding that in case 22 CR 007180, you wish to plead guilty to racing. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Sir.
Has anyone forced you or coerced you to plead guilty?
Yes, sir.
Say it again.
No, sir.
I will accept the plea as negotiated. And are you able to pay the fine today?
No problem, sir.
And you understand that it's although it's a $500 fine, the surcharges are going to be in excess of $200 or so.
It's not a problem, sir.
Okay, very good. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. After I fill this paperwork out, may I be excused?
Yes, have a good day. Thank you.
As well. Let me check.
Is he here now or not? Okay. Okay. Are we ready on Mr. Stewart?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Yes, well.
Pronounce your last name. I've been butchering it.
Shirey.
Shirey. Mr.
Yes, sir.
Shirey. I apologize.
No problem.
You raise your right hand. Do you swear to testimony you give today is the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Everybody right hand.
Your Honor, I'm just making a very quick copy of the form for the previous attorney. I will be in these, for Mr. Shire's
Don't
case.
block out my information.
Mr. Shire's case, Your Honor, the state's representation.
You fill all that out in my license and all that stuff, or does it matter?
The defendant was charged with one count of racing, one count of reckless driving, and one count of speeding. The state has agreed to a plea on count one of the racing. The defendant has essentially 10 days in jail, suspended upon paying a $500 fine from Stanford, which he is prepared to pay today. Counts 2, the reckless driving, refers to count 1. Count 3, the speeding, refers to count 1. The state would ask the defense if they stipulate some venue ID and the factual basis.
Fence does.
Anything further, counsel?
Just, Your Honor, Mr. Shirey is 34 years old. He's got support from his girlfriend here in the courtroom. He's taken this seriously. The citation was issued in 2019. He's taken 2 driving courses. He has no new citations or arrests since this happened. He's hired counsel, obviously. He's followed my advice from the day he hired. He's here to take responsibility. He takes care of his elderly father, who was about 30 minutes away from him. And I just say that to say that the license suspension, because the limited permit will only allow him to drive to and from work, and some other things will prevent him from doing that. So he's learning a lesson here today, Your Honor, that this is affecting not only himself, but the others that he cares for. So I just ask the court accept the negotiated plea, Your Honor.
Mr. Shirey, it's my understanding that in case 22 CR 007240, you wish to plead guilty to racing, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
Yes, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Concludes my business, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, have a good day.
Thank you. You too.
Position number 8, Mr. Henry Rebus. Oh. Say it again. Who do we have?
She was, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what's.
I don't see it.
How much is she asking?
This one?
Yep.
So. So who do I have here?
William Reed.
We're Revis right here,
Right, this,
right here.
That's William Reed's name. The
You
first.
say Revis or,
okay, I said Rivas.
okay, we're Revis.
Sorry.
Okay, so I'll just take what I have there and then we'll do
Okay.
Mr. Reed next.
Okay.
This is Reed.
This is Reed?
Reed.
Let me do Mr. Reed then.
Good morning, Judge. I'm not talking to the podium, so Coach, I call on behalf of the state. This is State of Georgia versus William Reed. This is just important. Okay, 21 CR 007 031D. This is an incident. We have next to Ken. Who would speak into that?
I've never been told I wasn't loud enough, but thank you. Okay. All right. Judge, we do have some next of kin who are children that are on the Zoom right now. This victim, Mr. Coley Thomas, date of birth, June 30th of 1984, left behind 3 children. Miss Chloe and Collins Thomas. I do have a letter from Miss Chloe Pankey and Mr. Davion Thomas, who is on the Zoom. Mr. Thomas, can you hear me now?
Yes,
He has
ma'am.
been- Okay, all right. I can't see him, but he's there, so he would also like to speak, Judge, after I'm done giving the recitation of the facts of this case. I come before you, Your Honor, on a vehicular homicide. Those are the cases that I handle in the solicitor's office. This incident occurred on October 25th of 2021, approximately at 12:20 in the afternoon. The defendant, Mr. William Reed, was driving southbound on Peachtree Street in an attempt to make a left turn onto 6th Street in Atlanta. The screenshots and the recording of the security cameras show that the victim was driving a motorcycle that day, and in an attempt to try and go through a yellow light, he starts to press on his gas just a little bit more to make it through the yellow light. Mr. Reed, like most people do, inches into the intersection as oncoming traffic on the opposite way is still coming, waiting for the road to clear so that he can make that left on the 6th Street. What the facts show us a little bit is that at some point, our victim presses on his brakes, on his motor just a little bit to go a little faster to make a yellow light. And Mr. Reed, I guess in his attempt, thinks that the victim is going to stop and they collide together. The evidence would show that the victim was going about 5 to 10 miles over the speed limit and that the defendant was not speeding. What is interesting about this particular case is that the injuries that the victim sustained that day should not have killed him. He had a laceration to his aorta. He was unable to speak at the scene because he was in so much pain. Mr. Reed did tell the police that he never saw the victim's vehicle, which was a motorbike, and they both collided. The victim was then transported to Atlanta Medical Center. I don't know if Your Honor is familiar with that medical hospital that has now been closed since the fall of 2021. And he is left in the waiting room for about 5 hours. They improperly triaged him. I had an opportunity at the end of last year to speak with our medical examiner to get an idea of if there were any intervening circumstances in this particular case. You don't normally see them in vehicular homicides. Incident occurs, the crash or the collision, those are the direct results why the victim has passed away or has died. In this case, it is a little different. We do have some intervening causation. Our medical examiner, Dr. Sims Staley, would testify if we were to go to trial that the victim, Mr. Thomas, was improperly triaged, and he was in the waiting room from 1 p.m. until 6 p.m. That laceration to his aorta should not have killed him, but he bled internally and he ended up dying on the operation table in the operation room. There is a current lawsuit against the Atlanta Medical Center. I'm not a civil attorney. I only handle criminal. And so I had to have an opportunity to speak with two of the mothers of the 3 children that are now the surviving children for Mr. Thomas, and explain to them the difficulty that the state would have should we go to trial in this particular case. There are still competing, I guess, thoughts as to whether or not the victim was going through a red light or he was going through a yellow light. I think the state would have a good argument that he was going through the yellow light. We do know that the defendant was not speeding. I don't believe that the way that the facts are in this case and what my medical examiner would testify, we would be able to prove causation. The proximate cause is too great in this case. And because of that, this is my recommendation for this particular case. The state is going to not cross the vehicular homicide, as well as the failure to yield serious injury to motorcycle. Have those counts 1 and 4, have the defendant plead guilty to failure to obey signs, 12 months on probation, 240 hours of community service, $1,000 fine, defensive driving, 2 victim impact panels, failure to yield right of way, count 3, 12 months on probation to run consecutive to count 2, for a total of 24 months on probation and conditions. I do want to read into the record a statement by Mr. Thomas's surviving daughter, his only daughter. He did leave 2 sons, and it is as follows.
I'm sorry, can I interrupt 1 second? And the facts as laid out by Ms. Ekbo are very fair, the way she described the case. My concern is the forms that we filled out yesterday is different from the recommendation.
Sorry, go ahead and say what those are.
So
I could be reading off something old.
So the recommendation on the forms we submitted to the court are failure to obey signs, 12 months probation, $1,000 fine, defensive driving class, 2 victim impact panels. There's no mention of community service. On the other charge, the failure to yield right away, it's 12 months probation concurrent to count 1, and null pros, the homicide by vehicle in the 2nd degree.
So we need to fix that. It is 240 hours of community service, which is standard, and the 12 months will be consecutive to the failure to obey signs.
And that's fine. We'll proceed, Your Honor. I just wanted to clear that up.
Right. So counsel's correct. That's not on the forms that are before us.
We'll fix it, Judge. We'll fix it very quickly.
And that was your understanding? I mean,
We've spoken a number of times about the case, and the recommendation that Ms. Ekbo stated to the court was the recommendation she made to me in our conversations, but it was not what was on the form. So I just wanted to clear that up.
all right.
That was most likely an error on my part, typing quickly. Judge, Miss Chloe Pankey says it's been about 2 years since my dad passed away. During those 2 years, including now, I felt a little empty, like a chunk of my body has been removed. Even though I didn't see my dad much, he was still a very big part of my life, and I will always miss him. It's one thing when you don't see your father much, and another when you know you can't see him again. It's like something you want, but you can't have. It's really depressing knowing there won't be any more family who games with your father or any more playing outside with your dad. I really hope you understand where I'm coming from and where my perspective is coming from. Sincerely, Chloe Pankey. And then Mr. Davion, I can't see you, but I can hear you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is there something that you want to tell the court, sir?
Yes, I would just like to say that just more so to go on with what my sister said, that, since my dad's passing, it's been very hard, to deal with, because my dad was, along with my father, he was my best friend. He was someone that I turned to in times of need. And when I needed advice or someone to talk to, a consultant or anything, I went to him. And he was, like the bond that held me and my brothers and sisters together. We always was around each other with him. He was always the reason we would come together to be a family and bond together. And since he's been gone, I've had to step up into the, quote, without, for lack of a better term, the fatherly role for my brothers and sisters. I've been there for each of their birthdays. I had to travel distances where my dad would have been there or probably would have been with our father. I've had to be there to give them the fatherly aspect of someone there, and not just their mother. And it's been hard. It's been a very troubling experience. I just would like to say that, just to give my feelings about what this has done to me and how I've been feeling about it since the case has started. Thank you.
Okay. Anything further, sir?
Excuse me.
Anything further?
Yes,
No, sir.
please.
Okay, so I'm sorry for your loss, sir.
Yes, sir.
Miss Hanky, are you there?
I am.
Is there something you want to tell the court? This is the mother of Chloe and Collins. Hanky.
Yeah, absolutely. I forgive Mr. Reed. I understand that it was very much an accident, but it is very hard for my kids. I have an 11-year-old son who just turned 11 last week. And the day that this happened, he was expecting his dad to take him trick-or-treating and he couldn't. So it's been very hard for me to process that with them. And those are the things that they won't ever get back again. And that's just really what it is. I've lost my father, so I know how to cope with those things and help them through it. So in the meantime, I'm getting them counseling, but it's not easy. It's not easy at all. And thank you. I appreciate my stepson. He stepped up a whole lot, and he's 17. 17. His dad was there for him all the way. They were best friends, and I feel sorry for him because he did lose his best friend.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank
Hanky.
you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Judge, nothing further from the state outside of, I have made some notes to reflect on the plea paperwork, what I recitated to the court as to the 240 hours of community service, and for count 3 to run consecutive to count 2.
Can I get you to just take a look at my
I can do that on yours as well.
paperwork?
Yes,
Thank
Judge. And that's all from the state, Your Honor.
Okay. You need me to sign that?
That's his license as well.
Okay. Let's see.
Yes.
Give it.
Okay. Take your mask off. That's next time.
Thank you.
All about this out. I'll be able to fill it out. Contact information.
Sorry. Okay, have we corrected that? And counsel, did you want to see this before?
I've seen it.
Okay, all right, you can proceed. Thank you.
Your Honor, Mr. Reed is 51 years old, also a father of three, married for the past, I think, 13, 14 years. So he knows exactly how the Thomas family feels as much as possible. This was truly one of those tragic incidences where, in essence, both parties ran a red light. Mr. Reed did what we all do. We enter the intersection. When the light turns red, we think traffic will stop, and he made his left. Unfortunately, Mr. Thomas was one wheel in the intersection, one wheel still at the red light, and I think tried to beat the red light or tried to beat the yellow light. And so it was just unfortunate for everybody. And I feel for the Thomas family. We would ask the court to accept Mr. Reed's NOLO plea to the 2 counts. And I think he does want to address the family when it's appropriate.
And there was no objection to a NOLO, is that correct?
Judge, there's no objection to that. Based off the facts of this case, I think it would be very difficult for the state to prove some of the facts in this case.
Fine. And yeah, Mr. Reed.
To the family, there's no words of consolement that I can give you. Being a father, having lost mine, I can only imagine what you're going through. I'm truly sorry for the loss. And for the young man that's taking the place of his father, please keep that up. I admire you. Thank you, sir.
Okay, anything further before we take the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Reed, it's my understanding that in case 21 CR 007031G, you wish to plead NOLO to failure to obey signs and failure to yield right of way. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No.
You to plead NOLO?
No.
All right, I'll accept the NOLO plea as negotiated, Mr. Reed. And was the intent that you have consecutive, so was the intent for him to be on probation for 2 years?
Yes, Judge, that is the intent.
And that's going to be reporting probation, or once he completes the terms, would you agree to it not reporting?
That would be reporting probation, Judge.
Okay.
That was the state's intent.
Okay. Given that you're going to be on probation for 2 years, Mr. Reed, I am going to waive the probation fees for you while you're on probation and help you get and stay on your feet in that regard. But you'll have to be on probation for the entire 2 years, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
And that's a reporting I have to report to.
We'll go through all that.
Yeah, we'll give you where you report, and if you can report in the next 2 weeks to get the probation started, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, nothing further. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay.
Don't put the social.
Don't put the social.
Okay.
Council, you ready?
And Ms. Pankey and Mr. Thomas, you all can exit out of the Zoom. We'll give you a call later today if you have any questions. Ms. Clements will give you a call. Thank you.
And this is Mr. Rivas?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and he is positions 7 and 8.
Correct, Your Honor.
And he's been sworn in.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear upon statement on this today that you shall
Yes.
You love your right hand. Give us that.
Yes, Ms. Vaughn.
Yes, Your Honor. On 22 CR 007203, Mr. Rivas was charged with 1 count of speeding, 1 count of prohibited lights, 1 count, and we amended this accusation last night to no license, driving without a valid license, and 1 count of racing. The recommendation on this case on count 1 is 11 months and 29 days of probation. Count 2, the prohibited lights, 11 months, 29 days probation, and $100 fine to run concurrent with count 1. Count 3, the driving without a valid license, 11 months probation, 11 months and 29 days probation, 60 days to serve, and a $100 fine. And count 4, the count of racing, 11 months probation, 11 months, 29 days probation, 30 days to serve, and a $500 fine to run concurrent. The following case, case 22 CR 00, and that is to be served on weekends. The following case, case 22 CR 007209, the defendant was charged with 1 count of racing, 1 count of driving in circular zigzag motion, otherwise known as lane drag. On that case, on the count of racing, that will merge into count 2, the lane drag. And the state is offering on count 2, 11 months, 29 days probation, 30 days to serve on weekends, a $500 fine, and this is all to run concurrent with the previous case, 22 CR 007203. The state would ask if the defense stipulates to both the identity, venue, and the factual basis on both of these cases.
We do, Your Honor.
Okay. And I'm sorry, tell me again, Ms. Falk, on position 8, speeding.
The speeding is 11 months, 29 days probation.
No, just what he's pleading guilty to.
Oh,
Is it-
all charges, speeding, prohibited lights. We have changed the multiple licenses to driving without a valid license
Okay,
and then racing.
and then racing. So 4 counts.
Yes,
Okay, and then on the other position 9, he's pleading to lane drags.
that is correct. And the racing will merge into count 2, the lane drag.
Okay, I've got it. Thank you. Yes, counsel.
We'll stipulate to the identity, factual basis, and venue in the case. And that's a proper dissertation of what the negotiated plea is in this case.
Okay. Excuse me, Mr. Rivas, it's my understanding that in case 22 CR 007203, you wish to plead guilty to speeding, use of lights and sirens, driving without a license, and racing. And in case 22 CR 007209, you wish to plead guilty to lane drags. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes.
Is anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No.
I'll accept the pleas as negotiated. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Your
Thank you.
Honor.
Okay.
You didn't pick a time to report this weekend, or?
Your Honor, the state has no objection to the defendant reporting on March 3rd, which is Friday. Just to ask the defense, what time would he like to report on Friday evening?
What time would you like to report on Friday evening, 6 o'clock? 6 p.m.
Okay, so it's going to be Friday, March 3rd at 6 p.m. and then that would release him Sunday, March 5th at 6 p.m.
Okay. Is that agreeable?
Yes. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Good luck to you, sir.
Thanks.
This piece of paper revoked your driver's license. But because you don't have a driver's license.
Okay, let's see. I think next is Allison Montgomery.
We do have an announcement on the Jeffrey Newsom case. It's just a brief announcement while Ms. Montgomery is coming up with her attorney.
Tell me where the announcement.
Judge, we're announcing he's ready to trial. I don't recall the calendar he's on this morning.
It's on the first calendar of position 10, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
Your,
So this is Mr. Newsom.
It is, Your Honor.
Okay, and he wants a jury trial.
He does, Your Honor.
And Your Honor, the state is withdrawing our recommendation of a plea to reckless, which we had agreed to after extensive negotiation, which would be 12 months probation, of $1,000 fine and 100 hours of community service. That offer is being withdrawn, and we will be filing 404B on his 2 speeding cases prior to trial.
Okay, and so it will be further noticed on trial. So you'll get a trial date probably in May at some point. Thank you so much. Anything further? Yes, have a good day. Thank you. Good day.
Your Honor, Mr. Gaither and I do have a case that we need to discuss. Did you want us to go into a breakout room to discuss that, or how would you like to proceed?
Well, Mr. Gettier, right now, let me hold on one second. Mr. Darren Scott, are you on Zoom? Mr. Scott, are you on Zoom? Well, Ms. Gettier, we may want to just hold off on that.
Okay.
I've been trying to contact him. I'm sorry.
Okay. And we ready on Ms. Montgomery?
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
Please raise your right hand. Please swear for and take one of your toes, the truth, whole truth, and nothing but you self.
Yes.
Below your right hand. She's left your hand.
Thank you.
Your Honor, on count 1 of reckless driving, the state has agreed to reduce that to basic rules, and we are asking for a $500 fine in stanter. This is in after negotiation as well as an examination of her history, which she had essentially no history, and after a look at the facts on this case. On count 2, the lane drag, we've agreed to merge that into count 1, the reckless, so she would just be essentially today paying a $500 fine in stanter.
Correct, Judge.
Oh, and the state would ask the defense to stipulate to the facts identification and then one.
We stipulate, Judge.
Anything further?
Judge, I just add that my client doesn't have a record. She has her master's degree. She's doing very well. We ask that the court just accept the negotiation.
Ms. Montgomery, it's my understanding that in case 22 CR 00722, that you wish to plead guilty to basic rules violation. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated, and you're going to be able to pay that today?
Yes.
Okay. As soon as you get that done, you'll be done. All right, thank you. Good luck to you.
Judge, do I take her to probation to pay that or? Okay, okay, she can stay here. Thank you.
The last in-person, plea is Robinson.
Robinson. I don't have that.
That's all that I have, maybe excuse.
Yes, good to see you as always. Have a good day. Oh, no, here it is. Okay, sorry. Okay.
Oliver Welch, who is doing pre-trial. Philip Jr. The Del Morgan. Mr. Reed. I'm sorry. Allison Montgomery just played ready for free, Marcel. That's two additional.
Are you with me, Ms. Gettier?
Transfer the Jamal Johnson.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is Ms. Robinson, is that your case?
Miss
Yolanda. Yes.
Okay,
And it's position 20, Judge, on the Orca C status now.
okay.
Yes. It's from to the good drop out there, but it's drop out there from here. I appreciate that. Use him just for.
Okay, whenever you're ready, Ms. Scipio.
Wow.
Okay, pulling this now.
Trial. Not bad.
Okay, yes, Your Honor. The state expects the evidence to show that on December 17th, 2020, the defendant, the officers were called to 740 West Peachtree Street, located in Fulton County, on damage to a property call. The defendant, Delonda Robinson, drove her vehicle to the victim, Ashley Walker's place of employment, where she had no reason to be, and parked near Ms. Walker's vehicle, in which the passenger got out of the vehicle and damaged Ms. Ashley Walker's tire. The state's offer is 12 months to serve 2 days, credit for time served 2 days, 6 anger management classes, no contact with the victim, Ashley Walker, stay away from the incident location, 740 West Peachtree Street in Atlanta, and the balance suspended upon completion of the conditions.
Anything further, Ms. Scipio?
That is all, Your Honor.
Nothing further, Judge. That is the agreement that we agreed to.
Okay, and it's a no-go plea?
And it's a no-law plea, Judge.
That is correct.
This is. Got it. I'm just gonna ask you some questions.
Are we ready to proceed?
We're ready, Judge. Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. Ms. Robinson, it's my understanding that in case 21 CR 0004788, you wish to plead no-go to criminal trespass. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
Yes.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading no to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead no?
No.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated. Good luck to you, Ms. Robinson.
Thank you.
Just please stand and see the probation.
You can just put it right there. Thank you.
I have a couple of announcements when the court is ready. Okay, yes, Mr. Dodd.
Your Honor, position number, this is all on the Orca C status conference. Position number 4, Gary Brooks, I believe he's still on Zoom. We are requesting jury trial. I did speak to him. I think I made that announcement earlier. So if he can be excused if he's still on, Judge.
Are you with me, Mr. Brooks?
He was.
Okay, well, your case is being further noticed for jury trial, Mr. Brooks. You'll get notification, okay?
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. You're free to go. Have a good day, sir.
Your Honor, position number 6, Ms. Chambliss, she's still on Zoom. I did get a chance to speak to her. We're gonna set her for a bench trial, Judge. She does have seemingly a really good defense to the criminal trespass charge.
Okay,
So so she's, I had talked to her and I think that might be the best solution, is to have it on a bench trial on the 19th or whenever the appropriate court is. And I'm sorry, she's position number 6, Judge.
okay, so I think the bench trials are on April 19th, is that right?
One moment, Your Honor. Yes.
Okay, so April 19th. That's in person, Ms. Chambliss, and that's gonna be at 1:30. Okay? You're on mute, ma'am.
And John also have. I think she has difficulty, Judge, with.
Right, Ms. Chambliss. Yeah. Ms. Chambliss, press the microphone button again. Ms. Chambliss, can you hear us? Ms. Chambliss, raise your hand if you can hear us.
Okay,
Press your microphone button because you're on mute. Just press that microphone button again. So we can hear you.
okay, so Ms. Chambliss, you seem to have some trouble, but your case is gonna be set on a bench trial calendar on April 19th, okay? You're gonna get notice of that. It's at 1:30 and it's gonna be in person, so you're gonna have to come down to the court. Okay? Shake your head if you can hear me. All right, you have a good day, ma'am.
And Your Honor, I'm not sure if the court's caught up with pleas. I do have one plea, Christopher Bailey, hopefully is still on.
Okay, yes, I have him next. Are we ready for Mr. Bailey?
And Your Honor, I wanted to also ask on the Orca C final plea calendar for Mr. Hollingsworth. Was the court ready to take that plea? I think he's still on as well.
Let's see, have you sent the paperwork for Mr. Hollingsworth, Ms. Helen?
Judge, it's a non-negotiated plea.
Okay, and tell me where, what calendar he's on and what number?
That's Orca C final plea, and I just saw him come back onto the Zoom.
Position.
Position 1.
Okay. Not as.
Christopher Bailey.
So but he's still gonna have to have the paperwork filled out, isn't he, Miss Helen?
Yes, Judge, I have it here. Again, I would have the state put its offer on the record, but we're requesting another recommendation.
Okay. So who's handling Mr. Hollingsworth?
Good morning. Yeah, still morning. ASG Riley, Your Honor.
Okay, and let's see, where's Mr. Hollingsworth?
Right there on Zoom, Judge, for iPhone.
iPhone? Okay, so if you can raise your right hand, Mr. Hollingsworth. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I swear. Yes, Your Honor.
You can put your hand down. Thank you. Ms. Riley?
Yes, Your Honor. The state would expect the evidence to show that on February 25th, on January 27th, 2017, officers arrived at 44 Peachtree Place Plaza in Midtown, Fulton County. Upon arrival, they spoke with the concierge office in which they advised, the victim, Mr. Chad. I apologize. I don't see his last name. First name Chad, in which he was expecting packages. The concierge office had asked him to come pick up a package at the desk. And when he arrived to get his package, it was not there. The manager of the concierge office stated that they had video surveillance and showed Mr. Hollingsworth, an employee of 44 Peachtree Place at that time, taking the package, in which the officers then took out a warrant for Mr. Hollingsworth. The state, if we're the defense, or if Mr. Hollingsworth were accepting the state's offer, it was 12 months to serve 1 day, credit for time served 1 day. And we were requesting restitution for the package. However, the state still does not have the amount of the items or item that was in the package from Mr. Chad.
So balance suspended?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Well, with that new offer, I believe that is what me and Mr. Hollingsworth were looking for. I believe the previous offer we had some type of probation. Judge, and I believe the announcement was that since the restitution, we're asking for the restitution to be waived if there is no proof of the cost of the item, Judge. So we are asking for time served, balance suspended.
Okay, I think that's what the offer is. So this is a negotiated plea at this point, is that right?
And one further, Judge, I talked to Mr. Hollingsworth. He would like to ask this court if he could use his NOLO plea for this case as well.
What's his history? Do we know?
One moment, Your Honor. It appears as though he first cycle was in 2015 in Florida for drug equipment possession. And for Georgia, he has 4 arrest cycles. 2010, a simple battery. 2016, a driving while license suspended. In 2021, a willful obstruction of law enforcement. And the 4th cycle being this case, Your Honor.
Okay, so I didn't hear anything, any thefts charges.
No prior thefts, no.
I'll allow the use to know, Ms. Helen.
Understood, Judge. Should I scan and send that plea to Ms. Redden? And I will include Ms. Riley on that as well.
Bolton.
Ms. Paul.
Bolton, understood.
Okay, anything further before I take the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Hollingsworth, it's my understanding that in case 21 CR 002217E, you wish to plead NOLO to theft by taking. Is that right? I can't hear you, sir.
That is correct. Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Okay, you're having some problem with your audio on this end. So can you, I'm not sure if you need to get closer to it or turn it up.
One moment.
Okay, there you go. I'm better now. No.
Can you hear me?
Speak for me, Mr. Hollingsworth. I can't. Yeah, we still can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's coming in and out, Mr. Hollingsworth. I don't know if.
Moment. What about now?
Yeah, you hear better now.
Okay, good. Okay.
Okay, and it's my understanding that you wish to plead NOLO to theft by taking. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No.
You've been represented by counsel. Were you satisfied with your representation?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading no to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
That is correct.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead no?
No, they have not.
I will accept your no plea, sir. 12 months to serve 1 day, credit for time served 1 day, balance suspended is the sentence. Good luck to you, sir.
Quick question.
Is Mr. Hollingsworth and Mr. Hollingsworth excused, Your Honor?
He has a question, Ms. Helen.
What does that mean exactly? Is that probation, jail time, or what is that?
It's neither, Mr. Hollingsworth. No
Okay.
jail time, no probation. It will appear on your record as a nolo contendory plea of guilt.
Okay.
Okay.
Would I be able to speak to somebody about expungement of that?
I'll call you and talk to you about that process, okay?
I appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Helen. Ms. Watson, Ms. Watson Cafe, have you gotten your matter resolved this morning? Do we have Mr. Bailey on the line?
Yes.
Are we ready for Mr. Bailey, Mr. Haddad?
I am, Judge.
And Your Honor, I believe that Ms. Watson Cafe has position 12 on the Orca status conference calendar. She is on mute, but I see her on Zoom.
Right, I wasn't sure if, I saw her there too, and I just wanted to acknowledge her.
Yes, Your Honor, she had a conflict filed for this, that was just filed this morning.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm not sure.
Okay, well, maybe if I'll address her when she comes back on.
Okay, thank you.
You want to pay the fines today?
No problem.
You guys will pay him on probation.
But this position, like 11 days, 29, 11 months,
Do we have a final dollar amount yet?
Have you ever had to do that before?
You're muted, by the way, Judge, just so you know.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
And Your Honor, while we're waiting on Bailey, Mr. Head has returned the plea paperwork signed to both Ms. Bolton and I. He's on the Orca status conference, positions 10 and 11.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Rowley, I have that.
You're welcome.
So let's go ahead and take Mr. Bailey's plea. Mr. Bailey, I see you there. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear firm the testimony you're about to give before this court would be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, put your hand down. Thank you, sir. Ms. Riley?
Thank you, Your Honor. The state would expect the evidence to show that on April 11th, 2020, officers responded to a concerned citizen call of two gentlemen in the area around a vacant home. Give me just a moment for the address. at 1752 Morris Avenue in Fulton County. Upon approaching the gentleman, Mr. Bailey being one of them, and asked why they were there, they could not give a viable reason for being at the vacant home. The state's offer in this case is 12 months suspended upon staying away from the incident location, which is 1752 Morris Avenue.
Your Honor, this is a negotiated plea. This happened back 2 years ago. My client is currently employed and seems to be on the right path. I would just ask the court to follow the state's recommendation, Judge.
Mr. Bailey, it's my understanding that in case 21 CR 002981E, you wish to plead guilty to loitering and prowling. Is that correct?
Correct, yes.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No.
Was that a no?
No. Yes, but no drugs.
Okay, or alcohol?
No.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
Yes.
Has anyone forced you or coerced you to plead guilty?
No.
Okay, I'll accept the plea as negotiated. Mr. Bailey.
Thank you.
Good luck to you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Let's see, are we ready on Jacinta Wilson?
Yes, Your Honor.
1:30.
Yes, Judge, we're ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
And let me see, Ms. Wilson, if you can raise your right hand for me.
And I think
Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
it's on the front.
Did you hear my question?
I do.
Okay, thank you. You can put your hand down. Yes, Ms. Githia.
Excuse me, Your Honor. If this, the state expects the evidence to show that if this proceeded to trial, that on February 26, 2021, officers were dispatched to the parking lot of Madras Restaurant located at 4305 Old Milton Parkway in reference to an assault. Officers made contact with the victim, Aditya Rath, and were told that this was involved in a road rage in which, this involved a road rage dispute with the defendant, Jacinta Wilson. Ms. Wilson then followed Mr. Rath to the parking lot where she blocked his car in and began yelling at him. She threw a water bottle at his vehicle, and then she got out of her vehicle and punched him in the face. The simple battery is going to be reduced to disorderly conduct, and the offer is 12 months to serve 1 day, credit for time served 1 day, and the balance suspended. This case will be closed.
Okay, Mr. Butler.
Thank you, Judge. That is our understanding of the recommendation. My client does want to utilize the First Offender Act. I have explained that to her, Judge, and talked about misdemeanors versus felonies, and kind of how the First Offender Act works. She has no criminal history, Judge. She's in the process of opening a medical spa to provide Ayurveda. She's an Ayurveda practitioner, which I'm probably mispronouncing. But there are some licensing requirements and background checks, and she wants to keep this off her record. When this happened, Judge, my client was pregnant, had some mood swing issues as part of her pregnancy. We have already done an anger management evaluation. It did not identify any issues, did not recommend any treatment. And this really was out of character for her, Judge. but she does recognize that it was a bad decision. She regrets it, but would like to have her record clean moving forward for her career, Judge.
Okay. Anything further?
No, sir.
Your Honor.
Okay. And no objection to the first offender, so that's. Ms. Wilson, it's my understanding that in case 21 CR 0018883E, you wish to plead guilty to disorderly conduct, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated, and we will get you the, we'll allow you to proceed under first offender. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. May we be excused?
Yes, you all have a good day.
All right, you too, Judge.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Let's see, the next case I have is Derek Head. No, I have not yet.
Thank you.
And Riley, this is your case. Which calendar is this on?
It is the Orca C status conference calendar, Your Honor, positions 10 and 11. And
Thank
I'll
you.
do position 10 first since it is first in time.
$800. 1,000.
Okay, Mr. Head, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
He only has
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. And Mr. Head, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have a right to have an attorney present at these proceedings. It is my understanding that you wish to waive your right to counsel and you wish to proceed pro se in entering these pleas today. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Riley?
Thank you, Your Honor. And I apologize. I'm having issues with my Odyssey bringing up the police report. Would Mr. Head be entering or stipulating to venue a factual basis and identity?
I'm not sure if he understands any of that, Ms. Riley.
Okay, it came up. Thank you. State would expect the evidence to show that on April 5th of 2021, officers were dispatched on a 911 call to 2079 Detroit Avenue in Fulton County. Upon that time, they met with the alleged victim, Ms. Chanel Comer, who stated that she had been in an altercation with the father of her child, Mr. Head, all day, and that the altercation became physical when they both arrived at the above location. It appears as though there was some back and forth, and when Ms. Comer got out of her vehicle to go towards Mr. Head, he then threw a jacket, hitting her in the face with his hand, as well, I guess, as well as the jacket. The victim, Ms. Coomer, didn't refuse EMS, and there were no physical markings or bruising on her. And the state's recommendation in this case is 12 months to serve 7 days, credit for time served 7 days. The balance is suspended. The case closes today. And would you like me to go ahead and do the factual basis for the following case, Your Honor? Position 11.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Just a moment to bring that up.
while that's coming up, Ms. Riley, were you able to get him the paperwork for the waiver of counsel?
Your Honor, I did ask Ms. Bolton to provide the waiver to Mr. Head. And
Does anybody have a copy of the waiver? No.
And as to position 11, which is case number 22 CR 006958E, the state would expect the evidence to show that on October 16th of 2022, officers again arrived at 166 Anderson Avenue in response to a vandalism call. Again, they spoke with the victim, alleged victim, Chanel Comer, in which Ms. Comer indicated to the police that her window had been broken on her vehicle with a brick by the father of her child, Mr. Derek Head. Again, after he came to her apartment demanding that she let him see the child. And I guess upon not complying with that due to a TPO being in place, he then used a brick to break her car window. Or a rock, excuse me. And I apologize, not for the car, it was for the living room window. The state has not been able to get an amount for that broken window from Ms. Comer. So in that regard, the state's recommendation is 12 months to serve 7 days, credit for time served 7 days, and the balance is suspended. Case closes today.
Okay. And Mr. Head, that was your understanding of the plea negotiations, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And that's what you'd like to accept?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If nothing further, it's my understanding, Mr. Head, that in case 21 CR 001771E, you wish to plead guilty to simple battery, family violence, and in case 22 CR 006958E, you wish to plead guilty to criminal trespass and damage to property. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this afternoon?
No, sir.
You have been given the opportunity to be represented by counsel. It's my understanding that you wish to proceed pro se today without the advice of counsel. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No.
Okay, and you had the opportunity to go over the guilty plea statements forms, is that correct?
Yes, I have.
And you went through those forms line by line,
Yes, sir.
and you signed your name at the bottom of the form,
Yes, sir.
and you offer your pleas freely and voluntarily with full understanding of the charges against you, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
I will accept the pleas as negotiated, Mr. Head. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. I'm excused.
Yes, unless you have any other
Tell him-
questions.
Tell him that I'll be sending the waiver to him and I need it by 2 o'clock.
Okay, so Mr. Head, you're gonna get additional paperwork from the court that we're gonna need for you to sign and return to us, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, so and once you do that, you'll be done. So have a good day.
You too, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, is there anyone, it doesn't appear to be anyone in court that has not been taken care of. Is anyone on the Zoom call that has not been taken care of? Okay, I take it not, so,
Your Honor, I believe Ms. Watson Cafe is asking if her client was excused earlier this morning. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I just got a message that he was reset for May 3rd.
Yes, it was. Good morning, Ms. Watson Cafe. I hope you're well
Morning, Your
today.
Honor.
Yes, we reset that case. I believe.
I mean, for May 3rd, I'm sorry. Is it May or March?
Tell me your client's name again.
Karan Johnson, Karon.
He is position 12 on the Orca C status conference calendar, Your Honor.
Okay, yes, it was reset for a final plea on May 3rd.
May 3rd. Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
Your
All
Honor,
right. Okay,
Your Honor,
yes.
Darren
Mr.
Scott just joined the Zoom meeting.
That's my client, Judge. He's position 21 on the Orca C status conference calendar.
Okay.
And at this point, he's here, but let's get the air. How about we just further notice him to the final plea calendar, and in between time, you and I can talk. How does that sound?
I have no objections to that.
Okay, so you'll want to be on the final plea calendar on May 3rd?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine with me.
Yes, sir. Oh, sorry, hold on, let me do this. Okay, Mr. Scott, your case is gonna be continued to the May 3rd final plea calendar. I will call you after I speak with the prosecutor in your case, okay? Mr. Scott, your phone is on, can you hear me? Raise your hand if you can hear me. Mr. Scott, raise your hand if you can hear me.
Can you hear us, Mr. Scott? Well, we'll see if he gets on, Mr. Gaither. And
Okay.
if he does, otherwise, you can just let him know that.
I will, I'll let him know.
All right. If he gets on, we'll address him.
Okay.
Otherwise, if there's nothing further, we can go over the calendars. Ms. Redding, would you like to start?
No, Judge, if I could have
Okay.
five.
Ms. Bolton?
Yeah, I think I have everything together, Your Honor. I'm sorry in advance. Okay, can everyone hear me? Okay.
Yes.
It's a little muffled over.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Mr. Scott, we can hear you
Yes.
now.
Yes, I apologize. I've been trying to log in all morning and I was just able to do it. So I do apologize.
Okay, no worries. And due to the lateness of the hour, the judge has granted my request to just further notice your case to the May 3rd final plea calendar. And in the meantime, I will speak with the prosecutor and then I'll give you a call back, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. And Mr. Gaither, Mr. Scott, on May 3rd, I would like for you to come down here in person, okay, Mr. Scott? So if you can be in my courtroom in person so we can get that, if there's a plea, so we can get the plea taken, and if not, so that you don't have any additional problems with your with logging on, okay? So I'd like to see you on May 3rd in person.
Okay.
We'll talk, Mr. Scott, okay?
All right, thank you. Am I excused?
Yes, have a good day, sir.
You too.
Thank you. All right.
Can everyone hear me? Okay, I can. Okay, so I'll start with Orca C final plea, position 1, plea, position 2, bench trial, position 3 was a plea, and position 4 is a plea. For each calendar. All right, Orca C status, position 1 reset for status, May 3rd. Position 2 reset final plea, May 3rd. Position 3 motions reset, May 17th. Position 4 jury trial requested. Position 5 jury trial requested. Position 6 bench trial, April 19th. Position 7 reset final plea, May 3rd. Position 8, no pros. Position 9, the SAP reset for March 7th. Position 10, plea. Position 11, plea. Position 12, reset final plea, May 3rd. Position 13 was further notice to a trial calendar. Position 14, reset final plea, May 3rd. Position 15, jury trial requested. Position 16, jury trial requested. Position 17, no pros. Position 18 is a reset for a status for May 3rd. Position 19, diversion, reset status, May 3rd. Position 20 was a plea. Position 21, reset final plea, May 3rd. Position 22, bench trial, April 19th. And position 23 was a plea.
Can you just repeat position 13, please?
Okay, 1 second. So that was further notice to a jury trial.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any questions, concerns, comments, corrections?
No, thank you. Nothing from the state.
Orca A status. Position number 1, further notice trial. Position number 2, placed on the SAP calendar for Tuesday, March 7th. That completes the Orca A regular status calendar. The Orca A status drag racing cases calendar. Position number 1, reset May 3rd for a status calendar. Please note that those calendars for status will be at 1:30 starting in May. Position number 2, request jury trial. Position number 3, reset final plea, April 5th at 9:00 a.m. Position 4, plea. Position 5, plea. Position 6, plea. Position 7 and 8, plea. Position 9, plea. Position 10, request jury trial. Position 11, plea. Position 12, plea. Position 13, request jury trial. Position 14, reset April 5th, final plea at 9 a.m.
Okay. Thank you all. I appreciate it. Anything further for the 9 o'clock calendars? Okay, so I guess I will see you all at 1:30.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, have a good lunch.
You too. Thank you.
I've got something.